The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, sir. Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Overreaction Monday, October 11th, 2021, and there is so much to talk about. Shout out to 25 Beat Drop. Shout out to you for listening on SiriusXM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. You're watching along here at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. This Monday will be like every other Monday of an NFL season. We will be saying things so over dramatic that people will say, there's no way you actually mean that. And we might not mean this tomorrow or Wednesday or Thursday or Feel Good Friday, but in the moment on Overreaction Monday, you're supposed to let it all out. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to ask the question, are the Chiefs dead?
Oh,
I'm not saying I'm asking that question. It does sound like at Boston Connor might be asking that question, but that's what Overreaction Mondays are for in the NFL season, to overreact. So today we'll be doing a lot of that. Darius Butler will be joining us in a couple hours, I believe. AJ Hawk will be joining us. Hopefully your phone calls on the 5-Hour Energy phone line, 1-833-4-McAfee. We got reactions around Twitter. People saying their team's going to the Super Bowl. This player's an MVP. This team stinks. They need to fire everybody here. This is a beautiful thing. This is week 5. Tonight wraps up with the Colts traveling back to Baltimore because, funny story, in 1987, 6, 5, or 4.
okay. One of them.
One of those
in the
years.
80s.
Yeah, let's hop back in time. The Baltimore Colts actually were all packed up into Mayflower trucks and then drove from Baltimore to Indianapolis, and it was then the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh.
Out of nowhere, old Bob Irsay, Jim's dad, packed the whole team up. 1 week after giving an interview about saying, Colts aren't going anywhere. They packed the whole team up, came over to Indianapolis. Obviously, there's a little bit of hate from some people in Baltimore to the city of Indianapolis and the team, the Colts, because of what has happened there. But the Baltimore Ravens are literally a team that was stolen from Cleveland, so I think it's all fair there. But there will be people at tonight's game that will tell the Colts that they're supposed to be in Baltimore still. That happens every time. Jim Caldwell told me that whenever I was in my first couple years in the NFL, whenever we traveled to Baltimore, he said, somebody's going to say, give us our Lombardi back or something like that. Somebody's going to say, and I'm like, no way. That was so long ago. There's always one or two. And then everybody else that's in that place, fucking wild animals.
Yes.
This crowd tonight, Baltimore, on Monday Night Football. So I picked the White Stripes, Seven Nation Army, as my walkout song because I get to go out before it's on TV, so it's just in the arena, and you can pick whatever. And obviously that song is a banger. It's not on TV, so they don't have to deal with the rights and all that. You get it. It's a banger. It's easy to sing along with. But I will say the first time I really opened my eyes to how incredible it sounds, and I'm sure old Jack and I think it's that. I don't know whoever the White Stripes were. You get it. Mm-hmm. They got to experience this a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Baltimore, that entire place starts going, oh. They start going. It sounds like one of those lunatic soccer games. It gets going so loud. Their crowd knows what they know football. It's an AFC North crowd. Tonight should be a fucking show, I think. And I just hope that old Two Sprains, who got knocked down to one sprain, will be able to lead this Indianapolis Colts team into a rompus. I mean, it's going to be wild over there. Baltimore people are a competitive bunch.
Lot.
I don't want to say reckless, but they get after it. That place is going to be sweet. We'll talk about that as the day goes on as well. Colts are getting 7 right now. Allegedly, it was close to going to 7.5 over the weekend. Might get back. 7.5 seems like a good number for a lot of people to probably take the Colts, but I'm not 100% sure what we're going to see tonight. I have no clue how the game's going to go. We'll talk to everybody about that. At Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. Couple quick questions for both of you. First, you, Ty. Green Bay Packers in an absolute thriller It went from heartbreak to celebration, back to heartbreak for both teams numerous times. There was a moment in that game yesterday where Evan McPherson, rookie kicker for the Cincinnati Bengals, alongside Kevin Huber, the 12-year punter over there from Cincinnati, absolute stud Pro Bowler, Clark Harris, an absolute stud. There was a moment where they were celebrating a kick that went through the uprights, and then they had to be told, no, you missed it. Yeah. They had to be told that. That happened for the fans. They got into position to win a game. They missed. Mason Crosby has one of his worst outings. I assume it was a very breezy day in Cincinnati. I don't think it was being talked about nearly enough by the broadcast, how it was probably a pretty difficult atmosphere to kick balls with the wind, especially if you don't hit that ball clean. And by clean, I mean like a good rotation. Sometimes you'll see like a fat ball, and you'll be able to tell because it looks like an X as opposed to an I flipping back and forth. And whenever it's a windy day, that X shape gives it a lot more surface area for the wind to catch and to pull. So normally, if you don't see it as clean of a hit, the wind will chew it up and spit it out. There was a couple kicks yesterday, though, that were very clean, that were moving. But at whatever the case, Mason Crosby, whenever it mattered most, you know, now granted, he might have got another opportunity. We don't know with how that game was going at all. He came through in the clutch at a 49-yarder. How you doing? Keep it moving. Aaron Rodgers said he asked Coach Mo if he thought Mason was ready after missing 3 or 4 kicks already. Coach Mo, who used to be a special teams assistant at the Indianapolis Colts, now he's a special teams coach for the Green Bay Packers, goes, hey, he gonna make it, which, by the way, has to say.
Yeah, true.
Okay, has to say that. Aaron Rodgers knows forever. If Coach Mo says, no, he ain't going to make it. Now, listen, Coach Mo, optimistic guy, positive guy, great guy. I enjoyed working with him. I thought he was sweet. But if he says no to Aaron Rodgers there, Aaron Rodgers is pretty tight with Mason, right? Aaron probably tell Mason at some point when Mason and Aaron are talking like, hey, just want to let you know, Coach Mo at one point said he didn't think you were going to be able to make it. So now that, like, you can't have that. So Coach Mo gives the answer he has to give.
Right.
And also one I truly feel like Coach Mo would believe in because the coach he is, says, yeah, he can make it. And then Aaron goes, well, fuck it, let's kick it then. And Mason goes out there, hits the game winner. Here we are, another victory for the Packers. You don't seem as jovial as maybe you should be. What's that all about?
Nah, I mean, it was a good win, all things considered. Missing 3 offensive linemen. Like, the Packers are very banged up right now. 2 of their best guys on defense. It's the little things. Like, I mean, they get all the momentum in the first half. You give up that fucking 70-yard touchdown right before halftime. Give the Bengals all the momentum back. And it's just, I mean, you would know more about this than just about anyone, but like with Crosby kicking it on 3rd down when they did, when he had just missed 2 kicks. Like, you take the ball out of Rodgers' hands where maybe, you know, you pick up another 1st down in overtime there and you get an easy. It just, I don't know. I mean, it's an interconference game. Like Aaron Jones told us on Friday, it's an unfamiliar opponent. They don't play him, but like that was the most anxiety-ridden win I've ever watched with the Packers, maybe outside of like the, you know, last game of the season in 2013 when they beat the Bears to go to the playoffs. But I've watched that so many times, and they lose every single one of those games. They just,
well, congrats, man.
Yeah. So maybe things are turning around, but it's just like there's little things here and there where it's like, Jesus Christ, like if you want to win a Super Bowl, if you want to get past the NFC Championship, it feels like there's just these same mistakes that get made over and over and over and over again.
And you're not just talking about for these 5 weeks, you're talking about for the last couple of years.
Yeah, exactly.
The last
like,
couple
you know,
years
Mo Drayton, I'm sure the special team stinks.
Yeah.
You know, so like I'm sure he's a great guy and everything, but like they need to get that figured out. Same deal yesterday, you know, like Bojorquez wasn't punting great. I mean, teams are getting to the 45 or 50-yard line on damn near every kickoff return if they want to. It's just like that kind of shit. If you really want to get to that next level, like you can't continually make those mistakes.
So how do they spend on like special teamers?
I don't think so, no.
So that's a fascinating thing, you know, because a special teams unit is only, like Bojorquez said, that his job is to annoy the returner. Just try to get fair catch. Now, he did not have a great day yesterday. I think he hit a couple short inside drop that kind of went out of bounds to the left or whatever. That's literally the difference of dropping a ball like this and then dropping a ball like that, and it's a game, set, match or whatever. But normally, whenever you're trying to do that, it's when a team might not be investing in your special teams players because you're trying to take any potential catastrophe out of the game. And it's fascinating because some teams really invest in it. You know, some teams are like, hey, we need our our special teams unit to be good. And by doing that, they're investing in their backup linebackers. They're investing in their backup running backs, their tight ends, their safeties. That's who they're investing in. But mostly they're doing that because of how good they are on special teams. But some roster constructions, there's no way that you can even pay for a good backup linebacker the way some people. So it's all rookie mins, not even vet mins. It's all rookie mins basically playing special teams. And you have to remember whenever you look at special teams, and this is not an excuse for any missed kicks. I mean, this is the rest of the people that are on the field there. They've never played special teams before in their lives.
Right.
The players that make the NFL are always the best players at every best. And unless you're at like Alabama, I think, has some of their starters play special teams because they know that they're going to do that in the NFL. Nowhere else has their best players playing special teams in college, because if they get hurt, your team probably stinks because they're NFL guys. So a lot of guys go in, especially with the rookie min model, which a lot of people are doing. If they spend high end at the top for special teams, you're getting guys who are athletic, who are good football players, but who have literally never done what they're being asked to do. They could be great. Some of those guys will go on to be incredible special teamers. Some of those guys potentially will go on to live very, very nice lives because of their work in return game and covering kicks. And then some guys will be, Robert Mathis will come out of this whole thing. And then some guys will be cut in 2 weeks and literally selling insurance. So those are basically the way those whole things go. But it does feel like there is a couple Achilles heels that happen to the Green Bay Packers that show up in a lot of these games. You're able to win because, you got Aaron and Devontae.
Right.
Who are hawk and animal. They are so good.
Yeah. Insane.
It is so much fun to watch. And you look around the NFL, there's Jamar Chase and Joey B, by the way. They're a tag team that is awesome.
Yeah.
Jamar, obviously, in his first year. Joey, basically in his first year still after getting hurt in his rookie year. They are a tag team that is fantastic to watch. But when Aaron and Devontae just start cooking, and then you can even add Randall Cobb in there, I think.
He had a huge catch yesterday.
3rd and 18, Randy Cobb took quite a shot, as did Aaron. But there's just a couple things that happen on Sundays that are going to be mesmerizing. And it's going to be probably Aaron Rodgers and Devontae making some sick play in some ridiculous time, whether it's to set up for a field goal, extend the game, whatever the case is. That is awesome. And it's nice to see that the Packers won that game. I hate it for the Cincinnati fans, though. They got to watch their team not have an indoor practice facility.
Yep.
They got to watch their coach speak in front of a substitute teacher rolling thing.
Yeah, that's right.
No podium available. $1 billion operation, biggest league in the world, $110 billion media rights deal signed just last year, not counting merch and everything, advertising, live events, tickets, and everything else. Okay, not even talking that. They had a substitute. They had Sweet Chuck's.
Movie day.
That's right.
They had Sweet Chuck, legendary substitute teacher at Plum High School. Rest in peace, Sweet Chuck. They had Sweet Chuck's little fucking roller with a movie in front of their coaches speaking at a press. Look at this thing.
Underneath the highway.
Yeah.
And they got Joey underneath the highway. Sorry.
Yeah.
They had to kick the bums of Cincinnati out of that particular bridge so that they could run their press conference in front of the substitute teacher podium. And whenever I say that is not acceptable, I want to let you know, Bengals fans, this ain't about you. This isn't about the players. This isn't about the coaches. This isn't about the coaches that are probably understaffed, underpaid, and they probably have to help out in the scouting department because you don't have a scouting department fully like everybody else, I don't think. This is a direct shot at the goddamn owners. You're in the NFL. What are we doing? How can you be amateur hour? You saw that Tottenham Hotspur field, okay, transform like the movie Transformers. That stadium, they had a delay or a
time lapse.
A time lapse. Yeah, there it is. That's a good word drop right there. That is a great word drop out of you. You knew where I was headed there before.
I did.
Yeah. They had a time lapse of that thing transforming into this new stadium, basically, and painting it in there. And I'm like, the Bengals have a substitute teacher rolly thingy as their podium thing. How is one in the biggest league in the world and the other one, soccer?
Right.
And it just makes no sense at all to me. So The Bengals probably win that game, by the way. Evan McPherson, instead of hitting that flag, maybe, sneaks through it upright.
Yep.
If the football gods didn't see the Bengals shitting on the NFL every single day with how they operate.
Can you imagine any other team doing that?
No.
It's like I've never every press
Joey
conference
Burrow
you see-
doesn't deserve it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase doesn't deserve it. How about Hendrickson, who tried to trip Aaron, by the way, got
didn't
around
get-
that
didn't
thing.
get called,
Didn't
yeah.
get called on it, but hey, still a play. They got players over there.
Yeah.
And who knows what Zach Taylor is? Literally, who knows? I mean, if you look strictly at records, and that's what people do in the NFL, he would be considered a terrible football coach.
Right.
But he might have this thing turned around because he's got a couple guys, but they're never going – I mean, maybe they will. Maybe the Bengals will be able to keep up with the teams that are investing in their facilities and their team and trying to do everything they can to make their team better so they can continue to win. Guess what? So they can make more fucking money. That's the short-sightedness of this entire thing.
Yeah.
We're going to cut every penny on the backside because we have no idea about forethought on the money that could be on the front side here. It makes no sense at all, but Packers get a big win. I think it was football guts.
Big win.
Might have been a football guts.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not saying it. Connor, I was watching a game against the Texans for the Patriots. We're not going to talk a lot about this game, but
Yeah.
I was watching that game alongside you a lot. You quit on the Patriots 4 or 5 different times.
I mean,
It's baseball season.
It is.
It's baseball season.
Baseball season.
It's the most exciting time for baseball. I couldn't be more big of a baseball fan right now as I sit here today. We're playing in the Super Mega Bowl of the AFC East tonight, going on to the Ultra Super Bowl Mega Game of the AFC East tonight. I mean, it's
Yeah.
incredible. Yeah, we're possibly going to go to the Ultra Super Bowl Mega Bowl of the whole entire league, Pat.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm excited for baseball. And who knew Denny Mills was one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history
Quit
of the
sleeping on
National
Davey
Football?
Mills.
Nah, Dougie Mills was flying around.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
He was making plays. And the thing about him is, Bill Belichick has that rookie quarterback thing.
That's right. 20-6.
Doug was pretty good. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
definitely lost. Okay, they're talking about records, I guess, because they did win that game. But there was a large portion of that game yesterday where Connor legitimately thought the Patriots were going to lose to the Texans. The score was indicating they were going to lose to the Texans. Then they ran an interesting punt play. Okay, up 22-19. I think they were up 13.
22-9, I think.
22-9. Yeah, sorry, 22-9. They were up. So they were up like 13 points at the time. And what they tried to do, I think, I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to say like I pitched this one time, but this has come up in a conversation that I've been a part of before. So whenever you're the punter and you're back and you sprint up to the line of scrimmage as if it's a fake, the punt returner has you, so they come running up into the box so that it's even numbers, right? Because we're kind of offsetting each other in the box, whatever's going on, the 10 people in between us,
Yeah.
right? On my side, 10 on his side. So as soon as I go up as if it's a fake, or if I go out to line up as a wide receiver or as a tight end or running back, he is to mirror me, okay? So as I go up under center, he comes up, and then they did something that I thought was actually pretty fascinating. They had Cam back up a little bit. Johnson, Aussie punter out of Ohio State, was originally with the Eagles, now with the Texans, has a monster leg, has a very large leg. He slaughters footballs. I have no idea how he does it, too. He doesn't jump or anything. It's just like this little whoosh, it's just gone or whatever. But he then backs up a couple like a quarterback is going to punt, like a quick punt or whatever a quarterback would do, gets the snap as Gunner's trying to run back. So I think he was trying to steal a punt with no returner back, especially where they were. You could probably roll that thing down inside the 10 because it was like I think they were at like the 39-yard line. So it's close to a pooch punt territory. But if you steal a good bounce, you could probably get it down inside the 10, the 5 there. And I think that's what they were trying to do. Inevitably, Larry Guy blew up the snapper.
As he does.
And then the PP, which he does, he blocks kicks, he blocks whatever. Then the PP, personal protector, tried to block the snapper who was blocking Larry Guy. Larry Guy didn't stop for either of them. Larry Guy was a runaway freight train, and he blew them up. Cam hit one a little bit low, back to the left, too. Hit the guy right in the head. It was just a comedy of errors. Murphy's Law, what can go wrong will go wrong. But also, whenever you have a lead on the Patriots and that happens, people are going to mock you forever for it.
Yep.
Just a little heads up, by the way, Cam. You're going to see that again, I think.
100%.
Because we had a little punt thing we tried, too, and it Murphy's Law, comedy of errors, just like what you had. Now, a little bit bigger game. I think it was a little prime time, a little bit later. I think there was a little bit better expectations for us than you guys in that particular game. game. And that's not your problem, Cam. That's not my problem either. I wasn't even part of any of that. I was just running the coattails, that whole thing. But you will probably get reminded of that, Cam, if I had to guess at some point.
I think so.
Yeah, but in theory, I thought it was a pretty good idea. In theory, it was a pretty good idea. Just like what we were trying to do. In theory, pretty good idea.
Unbelievable
Just got to make sure everybody knows.
Yeah.
Hey, we're not snapping. We can't be snapping that thing, all right? Can't be snapping, especially whenever it's 2-on-7.
And it really did remind me of Zach Taylor going for it on his own 29 up by 2 scores because that really did swing the entire game.
At Tone Diggs is here, hammered down. How'd you do this weekend gambling?
I got kicked in the teeth gambling this weekend.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I hit a big teaser, so I came out plus as far as money-wise. But
Units. You're up units.
Hey,
up units. So
other than that, got kicked in the teeth.
Oh, no. A little bit different feel out of the hammered Dahn boys?
Well, when overs and favorites hit all weekend, it's not going to be a good weekend.
Yeah, because you're an unders and underdog guy.
Correct.
Yeah, you like to see bad football. Yeah,
Correct.
I want to see the bad team
Yeah, I
win.
almost threw up watching the Chargers and Browns.
Okay, so thank you for transitioning to that. I'm assuming you will get hot. I ended up 8-6, I believe.
Ooh, here we
Ended
go.
up 8-6.
That's good.
Well,
Couple big ones.
You include that, the Super Boost.
I had a couple. Oh, the Super Boost.
Yeah.
Hey, we hit the Super Boost.
Yeah!
Listen, I wasn't even that loud about this particular Super Boost because I, just like everybody else, thought that maybe I had to earn to deserve the respect I thought that maybe some of my picks were given. And the same game parlays on Thursday nights, plus 1,600, plus 1,300, those weren't hitting. And maybe a couple of the players that I relied heavily on did get hurt in the games that we were betting on. So it was is it my fault? Am I starting to mush this? But don't look now. Don't look now.
Mm-mm.
Super Boost has hit the last 2 times.
Hey.
That's what we call a little bit of momentum. That's what we call a little bit of a heater. That's what we call a little bit of, hey, this Super Boost might never lose again.
Good chance.
There is no reason for me not to overreact on this Overreaction Monday, but I have to say, I made a decision that the Super Boost just won't lose ever again. I made that decision 2 weeks ago, and I've been right ever since. So now we got to continue to ride this train. And although it was just one bet, one pick, boosted from minus 110 to plus 120 or whatever, that's great boost, by the way, in that entire thing. Oh, yeah. It was just one team that had to do one thing, and at the end it did look a little sketchy because they were up 10, and we thought the other team was potentially going to have to drive down and score a touchdown, the Niners. They end up kicking a field goal, settle that thing to 7. Kyler and the boys run that thing out. We cover. How you doing? Keep it moving. Super Boost might be the hottest thing on the internet.
Yeah!
What will the next Super Boost be? And will you tell me? I hope you will, because we need to take millions and millions of dollars from FanDuel because we know they're winning.
Oh, yeah.
Too often.
We've gotten to experience it. We've gotten to feel it. Now we need to get to the point where we start doing the winning.
Hell yeah.
We start doing the taking.
Hell yeah.
We start doing the raking.
What?
We start doing the fuck me. No. Fuck you.
What?
Super Boost hit. But other than that, a couple parlays as well. AJ went 6-8. We'll talk to him in the second hour about how he's doing. But big for our show. Big production value. How you doing? Keep it moving. Sidebar. We got one.
Yeah!
All right, let's run down the list of things that happened yesterday in order in which we graded them of importance. Now, that should be called into question if you're looking at the sidebar wondering why is this one high and why is this one low. We are trying to grade them of importance. It wasn't the entire council voting, but there was a legion of gentlemen discussing this whole thing. To be clear, there's a couple things I think that might be a little bit too low. But it's tough whenever you got to sort them out. This is just like giving out a Madden rating. This is just like doing this. This is us ranking what we think we'll talk about in order. Turns out we were completely wrong. Packers win Thriller in Cincy. That one was way down there. We thought for sure we would lead off like everybody else with the fucking Buffalo Bills.
Damn.
This team's a wagon, dude.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, the past 3 weeks, of the ass beatings that they've been handing out to people has been fantastic to watch. They were on a 56-0 run over a 6-quarter run, actually. It was unbelievable. After that first week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Buffalo Bills went on this demolition run, and I loved it. I didn't know how. When none of us, did they just flip a switch and say, hey, we're going to fucking kill everybody? Is that what they did? Is that why the Packers have come back and won as well? But it seems like the Bills have done it in much more dominant fashion, so much so it is going down the record books for their point margin, even though they lost their first games.
Yeah.
Okay, they lost. I would assume that all these other teams did not lose a game in their first 5 games since 2000. Highest point differential through their first 5 games since 2K. The Pats in 2019, 121. Did you guys start off 5-0? Do you know?
Yeah, 8-0.
Okay, Bears 2006 plus 120. Pats 2007 plus 117.
Yes, 18-0.
Okay, 2021 Bills plus 108. 2015 Cards plus 100. That is with a loss. So and it wasn't great, the loss.
No, bad.
It was a bad loss. So what the Bills have been able to do to teams via CBS Sports, by the way, shout out to CBS Sports stats people, analytic people.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah. The guy's down in the dumps over there. Forgot he has a friend over there doing that thing. But the Bills have just been dominant and fun to watch. And the team that we thought we were going to see show out in front of Bills Mafia week 1. And I think the fascinating thing about that week 1 game, not only did Dawson Knox, old Knoxy hit Tutter, anytime touchdown scorer, alongside Emmanuel Sanders for me to hit a parlay. The thing he touched on is maybe that first week woke us up a little bit. Reminded us that we can be beat, brought us back down to earth all off season, a lot of dancing, good vibes, good feelings for the Buffalo Bills. That one brought us back down to earth. And they just went and beat the shit out of the Chiefs in Kansas City. Now, they had to do it with an hour and 10-minute delay as well.
Damn.
In the smallest locker room in the NFL, away locker room, Kansas City Chiefs. It is a tiny locker. We're talking sharing lockers. OGs are sharing lockers. We're talking stacked on top of each other. I think they only got 2 toilets, to be honest.
Come on.
I'm not 100% sure if there's more than 2 toilets. There might be 3, but I think it potentially even has like the open door on one of
sure.
them.
Love that.
I'm not sure. It's a tiny place is incredible. Okay, the fan base is electrifying. The team, obviously, been around a long time, a lot of history. That away locker room is terrible. Now, I don't know about the peanut butter and jellies, who makes those. I think the Bills actually have to make them for their own guys. So I'm not sure if they were mad at their own people for the lackluster PB&J.
Yep.
Because the PB&Js, by the way, might not always be eaten by the team. They have to have them just in case. I don't think they have like a just in case there's an hour and 10-minute delay at halftime supply of food. I'm not 100% sure that's something you think about. But withstanding that, then coming out on the other side, building upon your lead, continuing to dominate, and definitely cover an alternate spread at -9.5 for somebody that maybe bet on that and made good money. This Bills team is a fucking wagon. It is awesome to watch. It's great to see the patience with McDermott and Bean that the ownership had to build that team. They empowered Josh Allen. They paid Josh Allen. They still have the ability to pay people around them. The defense hunts. They got like 6 D linemen that all eat down there.
Yeah.
I mean, good for the Bills. It seems like they're doing it right, too.
2 years ago, the defense carried the team. Last year, the offense carried the team. And now it seems like they're all on the same page. And they went against, which is now the worst defense in the history of the NFL statistically.
Okay, the Kansas City Chiefs defense is going to have to figure it out. And it's fascinating that maybe they don't. I think for the last couple of years with the Kansas City Chiefs, any issues that they would have, we would say, they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. That's normally revolving around potentially the offensive side, not necessarily the defensive side. That if you think about how awesome the offense normally is, the defense doesn't get as much shine because I think everybody goes, hey, you're the defense for the team that can score whenever they want. Now, I don't think Tyrann Mathieu like that. I don't think Stone Cold Chris Jones like that. I don't think that the leaders in that group that went on to win a Super Bowl like that, they took some onus on themselves. But also, I think an issue with the Chiefs is they said that they've been facing coverages that nobody else has faced for the last couple weeks. And if it's anything like what the Buffalo Bills did, I think the Bills just rushed 4 and then obviously dropped 7 into coverage, or rushed 3 and then even dropped 8 into coverage. That was exactly what the Pittsburgh Steelers did to the Buffalo Bills week 1. I wonder, we live in a copycat league, if the Buffalo Bills offense views itself pretty similarly to the Chiefs offense and they go, hey, this thing killed us. Imagine if we do this to the Chiefs. Is that the blueprint to stop the Chiefs? And now if the Chiefs have been facing this type of thing the last few weeks, what are they going to evolve into? Is it going to be more dump down, screen tosses to Tyreek Hill, who is the most elusive player in the NFL, and he has proved it time and time and time and time and time again. Although Tony over there for the Giants is electrifying. We have a Giants fan in the office that says Tony is the most explosive, elusive player in the NFL was like, Tyreek Hill is still in the NFL, right?
Yep.
This guy might be, by the way. And somebody called us whenever they were a year ago. He was somebody either was a fan of Florida or at school of Florida, and he said, #1 for Florida, he's the next Tyreek Hill. He's unbelievable. Then this guy wasn't getting the ball enough because he was hurt in training camp. Maybe I don't know what 100% what the reason was, but he still felt like he wasn't getting the ball enough. So allegedly sources of his, he came out and said it was bullshit, but allegedly sources said, I'm not getting the ball enough, let's go. I don't know if it's with him or not, but those sources were right. This guy, he deserved to get the ball. He is a superstar, but with Tyreek Hill and with all the weapons that they have, I'm interested to see how they evolve too. And will they just run this thing? And will you be patient enough just to run? Because if they're dropping back, you could steal some. This is going to be a whole new chess game for old Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and that incredibly high-powered offense.
Yeah, not putting Tony over Kamara and McCaffrey either, just to really check that out real quick. But
true. Kamara is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Tony might be there.
Sure.
We don't know.
One day.
We've only seen, literally 2 games?
Yeah, and now that he punched the guy, Joe Judge will probably bench him for a game. But that's not the point.
Interesting, though, that Joe Judge-led team punched the guy.
Yeah, well,
that's what a lot of people are saying on the internet.
Well, Judgy also, he's not afraid to throw the fists. We saw that last year, too.
I think that's why people were saying that Joe Judge led team throw a punch, obviously.
Yeah, and he was not happy about it. But
nobody can be happy whenever your best player throws a punch and gets ejected.
Yeah, when your other starting wide receivers are also already out.
And also your running back and your quarterback.
Yeah.
So I can understand why he was mad.
Yeah. Very, yeah.
Anyways, that's tough. That's a tough go.
Brutal.
Yeah. No running back.
Nope.
That rolled ankle on a throwaway play. He's just jogging, almost going back to the huddle, rolls his ankle. It's like when you're playing basketball and you're just accidentally jogging through the paint and somebody's ankle's just there and you roll it. Instead, it's one of the most explosive humans, Saquon Barkley's ankle rolling, immediately getting swollen, low ankle sprain. Not as bad as a high ankle sprain, right? Low ankle sprain, allegedly much quicker return than a high ankle sprain, even though the low ankle always looks worse, they say, because it swells easy, it becomes black and blue easy, but you get back quicker than a high ankle sprain. We know that because one ankle of Carson's is still sprained, the other one isn't. The high ankle sprain still sprained, a low ankle already fixed. He was our sample study because those were sprained at the same damn time.
Ooh, exact.
2 sprains. Anyways, Saquon gets hurt. Danny Dimes runs into a Mack truck down there near the goal line. Okay, he gets up. He's stumbling and bumbling and fumbling all over the place. Hope he's okay, obviously. Skycam comes in. I saw him throw a ball 6 yards past the line of scrimmage. He was further down the line, past the line of scrimmage than Michael Dixon was on Thursday Night Football, and he tried to complete a pass. Obviously, it did get completed because nobody thought he was able to throw the ball, so they were rallying to the ball. But anyway, that Giants team, what a nightmare. Skycam came in there with no weapons. His best weapon punches somebody, gets kicked out. I mean, what is going to happen with the Giants? Are they dead? Who cares, I guess,
yeah,
right?
Who cares? They're a shit
dead.
show. Cowboys.
People were telling me, though, all week on TV, the Giants are a team that's going to make this close.
Upset special.
Hey, I know the Giants. This team's coming around.
They're tough.
Hey, if you watch them, don't look at the scores. Just watch the games. Watch the plays. They're doing some stuff. And I'm like, I think I have had them on a TV a couple times, and I do think that they are doing some stuff. But I just think that every team is doing some stuff.
That's true.
At some point, somebody playing professional football does some professional football stuff. I feel like there are some teams that do more professional stuff than other teams, and those teams beat the teams that are doing less stuff. So it's not the absence of stuff that maybe the Giants or anything. It's just the presence of stuff that the team they're fucking playing against has.
Well said.
That seems to be the problem. Because I almost bought into the stuff conversation last week because there was a lot of people saying, hey, the Giants have some stuff that could potentially, they could potentially. And I'm like, okay, everybody has some stuff. I mean, you're shooting people up, you're drafting people, paying them millions of dollars. Let's assume there is a stuff somewhere. But that Dallas Cowboys team has a lot of stuff. CeeDee Lamb is some stuff that is awesome to watch. Love his swag, too, by the way. Absolutely love his swag. Dak Prescott with Kellen Moore, getting comfortable, settling in. They had so much success together going into his final year of his contract. A couple years back, broke all these records. Boy wonder, Kellen Moore, how you doing? He gets hurt. Mike McCarthy comes into town and says, hey, listen, I'll learn your offense. Fuck. Like, if we get in a game, it's a big moment, and, like, we have to win the game. I won't know what to do because it's your offense. But I'll be here. So much so that Dak has looked unbelievable.
Yeah.
That Dallas Cowboys team is cool. That's a team that is obviously overhyped every single year. And here we are on Overreaction Monday. So take this with a grain of salt.
Sure.
Cowboys look like they're the team that has been hyped up to be for the last 10, 20 years. They legitimately do. And the Giants might just be a fucking disaster with a lot of injuries. But this Cowboys team seems like a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, Zeke seems all the way back. Like he's playing as good as ever. And their defense finally. Like Trayvon Diggs is unbelievable at picking balls off. He's got great skills.
Yeah, Ty.
Yeah, that's what I was going to, like, they haven't been worth shit because they invested all that money in Zeke, and now he's playing like he was a couple years ago, and Dak could win MVP this year. Like, their offense can shred just about anyone's defense, I think, and no one expected their defense to turn around this quick.
Do you think Zeke is eating Buckeye heroes?
Without
Probably.
question.
100%.
Yep.
Probably whenever he gets going.
Yeah.
It was great to see that again because it felt like that hadn't been around for some time.
Yeah.
Everybody knew he was explosive, elusive, and incredible running back, but we hadn't seen it for some time. Everybody's like, well, remember he went down to Cancun down there, held out, got paid. Anytime running back gets paid, he ain't good no more, blah, blah, blah. He seems to have completely transformed his body. He's all the way back to whatever the people said he wasn't back to in the past. He's moving. Pollard also a stud. I think that team, and I don't want to buy it too much, I like the Dallas Cowboys. I like them a lot. Dan Quinn has come in there and made them have an identity on the defensive side of the ball. Trayvon Diggs, I know that he's a lot of people are tweeting, anytime I tweet about Diggs being a magnet, 6 interceptions through 4.5 games. Okay, 6 interceptions, 4.5 games. Now, granted, obviously that game has now ended, so he has 6 picks through 5 games.
Okay.
But at the time, it was unbelievable. There was a lot of people saying, well, why don't you talk about the 100 and some yards he gave up or whatever? It was like, okay, I will talk about that. But this dude himself got an extra possession for the Dallas Cowboys 6 times already in 5 games. You're going to live with that. You're going to be okay with that. A lot of Dallas Cowboys fans tweeting he's prime-ish. A lot of Deion Sanders comparisons coming to Trayvon Diggs. I think watching that defense play versus how they played last year, obviously Diggs' addition is huge, but Dan Quinn deserves some sort. He's got that backwards hat.
Oh, yeah.
He's sitting in a suite that looks like it's Jerry's up there.
Yeah.
And he's just up in the sky cam, looking down, just making magic. That team looks vastly different than they did last year on the defense.
I love what you mentioned about Mike McCarthy. He basically lied to Jerry,
Yeah.
saying that he watched a bunch of film.
Oh, I watch every play.
And then, you know what? Let's keep the offense coordinator. It feels like it'd be a lot easier if we just kept his offense instead of me teaching everybody an offense. Let's just do what he's doing.
Yeah, and who's moving my office in for me? Because I think the way I saw this going is I sit here, we do the thing, song and dance. I hit the watermelons. Kellen and Dan win the game. I go to my office. I talk to the team. Hey, good job out there.
Good job, boys.
Then I hit the watermelons. Imagine if. Now, this is back to Nagy's point, I think. Which is Chicago Bears. Hey, let's go. Bear down.
Bear down.
Are the Raiders dead? People are asking questions about the Raiders, but the Matt Nagy thing of last week, where people are giving Bill Lazor all the credit because he took over play calling duties and the offense got much, much better than the averaging 1 yard per play average they had just the week before that with the same team, same quarterback, same everything. A lot of people are giving Bill Lazor all the credit, and Matt Nagy said, well, me as a head coach, allowing and dictating what he can call and play. Basically, something along those lines. Came off as an asshole, everybody thought. I think he was just trying to explain his side in his, what's his role now that somebody else is calling plays? Is he even a part of it or whatever the case? Then obviously he comes out and says Andy Dalton's the starter if he's healthy, and everybody on earth said, well, we want to hear what Bill Lazor thinks, because Bill Lazor is the offense coordinator. Then a couple of days later, Justin Fields is the starter. It's like, okay, maybe everything's coming together over there. Maybe there is dysfunction. Who knows? I don't know how it's operating behind the scenes. I love Justin Fields' press conference. I love the way Justin Fields plays football. And if you're a Chicago Bears fan, you got to be fucking pumped that you guys seem to have a real squad. Beat the Raiders so bad everybody thinks they're dead. That is what the Chicago Bears are doing to teams right now. yesterday. Well, they continue to do that. You got to be pumped, Zito. Victory steaks all around.
Yeah, I was so happy. Yesterday, my lady made chicken. I said, throw that chicken away. We need steaks right now.
Okay. Coco, thanks for the hard work.
Thank you for making that chicken, by the way.
Yeah, thank you for that chicken. He will eat it today, obviously.
But shout out Cairo, though. Cairo's doing really well, and that was our biggest thing, was missing a kicker, right?
Well, Cairo Santos is bombing balls. He was once at the Chiefs, then he was with the Titans, I think, out of Brazil. He strikes a good ball. I wonder why he probably just gets cold and they don't hang on to him because they don't have as much invested in him. He's been a savior, though, for the Chicago Bears.
Yes.
And I think the Chicago Bears fans love Cairo. I get a lot of tweets about Cairo. Like, hey, how come you never talk about Cairo? You never talk about Cairo. I apologize. I should talk more about Cairo, especially if the Bears are going to continue to win games. That feels... Now, the NFC North, we all know.
Play the Packers this week.
Runs through Lambeau.
The Packers missed 4 kicks.
Oh, no.
Okay, that's an extra 12 points.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's a lot of things that happen that don't normally happen against a great Bengals team. I like that Bengals team a lot. They left 6 points on the board as well, I guess. But the Bears have to know that the Packers run the North.
What?
But Justin Fields gets hot this year, and this Bill Lazor offense, that the defense continues to go. What's going to happen next year for the Packers? What's the NFC North looking like with Kirk Cousins and the Vikings over there? Is Kirk sticking around in the NFC North? It might be a brand new NFC North next year with Jared Goff. I'm so heartbroken, man.
Oh, boy.
That poor guy.
Saddest thing ever.
Hey, I love that I don't know how in professional football, as the head coach, he was able to get that emotionally attached week 5 of the NFL season. Because normally you got to go through some shit with your team to kind of buy in. You know, like Chuck after the leukemia thing, like that really brought us together. I guess losing from a 66-yard field goal and some other stuff is some bonding things. Yeah. But I love how invested MCDC seems to be in that locker room. At what point will he turn cold-hearted and jaded and not care? I hope never.
I don't think it ever will.
I hope not, man.
I think MCDC loves football more than any human that's ever existed in this entire universe.
That's what I'm talking about. MCDC's turning around up,
He can be the Lions head coach forever. I don't care. Sign him to a lifetime contract right now. I love him so much, and I feel so bad for him.
Now, there's a couple faces in this room from other cities and fans of other teams that just said, this guy said a coach who has yet to win a game to a lifetime contract. It might sound like the most Detroit Lions fan thing to say, but it's real. It seems like he genuinely cares about Detroit and the team. I can't wait. I can't wait for his winning press conference. It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming. I know that's coming. I can't wait to hear it. It's probably going to be a little bit, but back to the NFC North. That Bears team, if you're a Bears fan, you got to be fucking pumped for the future all of a sudden because Justin Fields looks like a dude, acts like a dude, talks like a dude. Everything about him seems like you got a guy. And with the NFC North very much up in question for the future, that has to feel pretty fucking good.
I feel absolutely amazing. I thought we were going to lose just because we didn't have Dan Montgomery, but 2 guys just came up and took his place. I thought we played very physical.
So you like the whole team. You say Nagy's building the boys up.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
The whole team.
There's actually a bunch of things saying that Nagy was talking his mics, that he was calling plays the whole time. And there was a guy who did a whole thread, was like, yeah, he did not. Like, he made sure to see like how many times he lifted his play sheet and stuff like that. But it's funny that they're trying
that's
to throw
a whole
narrative.
thing. That narrative about, because last week he said, I let him call some plays.
We all put together the game
So I think he's
plan.
pretending talking the mic sometimes and lifting his play sheet.
The NFC North is run by the Packers, will be until further notice, and the NFC West continues to be awesome. Obviously, the Rams do what the Rams do against Michael Dixon in the Seattle Seahawks on Thursday Night Football. But the Cardinals and Niners yesterday, it was a doozy, man.
Yeah.
It was a battle. Trey Lance is a stud. I don't know if he's going to be an incredible quarterback, but I think Kyle Shanahan will be able to create plays and opportunities. Let me take that back. When I say great quarterback, I mean in the old school standard thought process of what a great quarterback is. I'm not sure he's ever going to have a 99 rating at throwing, okay? And if he is, it might be a little bit. He might be able to work on it in the offseason, build over the next couple years, just like Josh Allen, just like Lamar Jackson, just like Baker Mayfield, just like all other young quarterbacks. So this isn't a shot at Trey Lance as a quarterback. But whenever he and Isaiah Simmons had a stalemate,
Wow.
and it wasn't a touchdown. Obviously, it was not a touchdown. But Isaiah Simmons, who is a freak on that Arizona Cardinals defense, by the way. They're using him in the right way, too. He's flying around. He seems to be everywhere. Out of Clemson, nobody really knew what he was going to be. Oh, are they going to beef him up, make him a linebacker or a rush or safety? What do you think he's going to do? He does everything. He runs into shoulder to shoulder with Trey Lance. And although he didn't score, I think at that moment, I personally was like, oh, this dude's a fucking tank of a human.
Yeah.
He can also throw. He seems to be fast. I think his football IQ is great. I think it's going to grow and grow. Shanahan pulling the strings. They could be something. They're going to have to adjust that offense, though. It's much different than the Jimmy G offense, okay?
Yeah.
I think it's going to have to be, but we don't know if Jimmy G's healthy enough. So I don't know if Shanahan can make the complete adjustment right into the Trey Lance offense because Jimmy G's still looming, I think, because he had that Charlie horse in the calf.
That's right.
But on the flip side of that, the Cardinals fucking go, dude. That defense flies around. Buda Baker, Isaiah Simmons, we just talked about him. Chandler Jones, obviously. J.J. Watt's making plays. And then on the offensive side of the ball, Rondale Moore is like option 3, I think, option 4. He's filthy. He was a terrible interview on this show. I think he hated us. It was a bad conversation. That means absolutely nothing at this point watching him play football in the NFL. He's fast. He's gritty. He makes plays, and it seems like he always shows up, just like old Buddy Williams, who's the tight end. Rest in peace to his knee. Hell of a run.
He's in peace.
He's in peace. Mr. Williams, that tight end always seemed to be around the ball out of nowhere. Who is this guy? I love this guy. He gets hurt yesterday. Absolute shame. But Kyler, DeAndre Hopkins, I mean, they are balling over there. And James Conner's running like it's his first year at the Steelers back in the day whenever he was wide open out there.
Yeah, it was nice to see because the Cardinals really, their offense, it was okay yesterday, but like their defense kind of won that game. And then with Trey Lance, it does, you said it, very much feels like Josh Allen year one. Like he's not great at throwing the ball right now, but you could always develop into that. And I could see why Jimmy G has been starting until now.
Yes, and I think Shanahan was trying to say that after the first game that Trey Lance saw time. I think they have a lot of faith in Trey Lance that he could become something incredible, but maybe just not right now. But he's going to have to win him some game if this Charlie horse and the calf thing remains an issue for the Paisan, Jimmy G. Fascinating NFC West. It seems like the Cardinals are definitely in the driver's seat. When will they let off? Last year they weren't consistent at times. This year they knew that. Seems like they addressed that. Will they continue just pedal Dahn? Will they continue just killing people, moving along, winning these tight games, and enjoying the process? I can't wait to watch. I enjoy the hell out of watching the Arizona Cardinals football team.
Fun to watch.
We're back in 4 minutes with some 5-hour energy phone line phone calls. 1-833-4-McAfee. We'll chat with you then. Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Coach Mike Tomlin.
Oh, man, Pat, it's an honor to be on with you, man. Thanks for having me.
You're a legend. Thank you for putting me through my workout and having the scouts actually come watch me kick at West Virginia. I don't think I've ever fully thanked you for that moment, Coach.
No, man, I've drank the McAfee Kool-Aid for a long time.
Let's get right into it. The locker room culture changed completely when I was in the league, from when I was a rookie to when I was done, and I retired after the 2016 season. Now it's even more different, I would assume, from when you came into Pittsburgh and everything like that. The dancing on the logo, the TikTok, everything like that you guys have had to experience. What is your messaging in there? How do you adapt and let players be themselves without, doing too much? Because that is a fine balance that you've been able to do, I think, in an incredible job with throughout your entire time in Pittsburgh.
I think for me, more than anything, I try to stay connected. Just getting a sense of where these guys are coming from, what's in vogue for their generation, what captures their attention, how do they learn, how do they communicate, how do they interact with each other formally and informally. And I think being a parent kind of helps me. My boys are 19 and 20, so it's not much difference between them and some of the younger guys that I deal with here. And so for me, it's just about gaining an understanding, working to stay connected. That's my general attitude, man. It's adapt or die for me. And I don't want to be one of them old crusty guys, man, that just refuses to adapt. Although I am one of those old crusty guys now.
Yeah, you are old as shit now. You know what I mean? I mean, you've been around a long time. I remember back in the day, whenever you showed up, there was a lot more, to the camera. There was a lot more.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that. Now you're just old ass man now, huh?
You know how it is. Years in this business will scar you, man. It'll settle you down.
That is classic. One of my favorite moments with you is when you would tell me every warm-up, I'm going to get you back to Pittsburgh when you're old and cheap. What does that mean? What did that mean? And should that have been taken as a smack in the mouth, like whenever you said that to me?
No, man, it was a tip of the cap, man. There's
Okay.
certain guys around this league that I'm really interested in, but I know I cannot afford. And you were one of them. So I was going to wait for you to physically deteriorate a little bit until you came back into my wheelhouse.
Yinzers are going to go bananas in Heinz Field this weekend. First time it can be filled up in a long time. I can't wait to see it. And I can't wait to. Oh, mama, I'm here. Oh, my life, Is that your alarm clock? Yeah, just say yes, by the way. Yeah.
It's my ringtone. It's my alarm clock.
We appreciate you, Coach T. Last question before we let you go. Why'd you let Troy Polamalu do what he fucking did to me? Why'd you let? I know you've heard of this. Why? Well, that's a short side of the field. That's bad football. You guys coaching unsound football over there in Pittsburgh? How did that happen?
We know you and love you as a man, but on Sundays in the fall, man, you're the nameless gray faces that we.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, never had a losing season, absolute legend, two-time Super Bowl champion, Mike Tomlin. Thank you, Coach. Jim Raj had to walk in there and do a full, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The whole
Curtsy.
Hey, we're coming. We're bringing a big sports stooge thing over here. Is that okay? Yep, deal. Perfect. Let's get some tea. Let's get the fuck out of here. How do you think that went between Raj and Clean? You think she liked them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet she liked him. She probably knows a lot. Like, what if she's sitting there and then all of a sudden she's like, so what about the Deshaun Watson situation? What about the Deshaun Watson situation? What about the Deshaun Watson situation? Huh? that was spot on accent.
That one out of the
Like,
park.
what if she's really dialed in to the NFL?
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back to that show here on Overreaction Monday, October 11th, 2021.
Yeah.
52 minutes into hour one, about 10 seconds away from 53 minutes into hour one. We have some breaking news out of the NFL. Ian Rappaport is reporting that the Steelers wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster had surgery last night on his injured shoulder and is out for the season. The procedure was successful. A tough loss for a Pittsburgh offense that is showing signs of hitting its stride, says at Rap Sheet Ian Rappaport. Saw the hit on his shoulder. It was an awkward one. Obviously required surgery. Surgery successful. Juju out. He was on a one-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers after dancing with free agency, almost going to Kansas City. Baltimore allegedly in the game as well when he was a free agent. Now, after a Week 5 shot to the shoulder, out for the last 12 games of the season and postseason, if that comes to be a thing. Ben Roethlisberger's last trip around town is going to be without Juju Smith-Schuster, a wide receiver that he and Juju have openly expressed great kinship for. Training off the field together, becoming friends. I'm not sure Ben's ever been on his Corvette. I'm not sure if Ben's been any TikToks or not. You know, he has been on the old.
He needs to stay away.
Yeah, you're right. But this is a bummer. We feel terrible that Juju got hurt. And Ian has an update now on the surgery. I was about to ask Diggs clarification. Steelers wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster is having surgery, source said, but the surgery has not happened yet. It will, but it hasn't yet. The decision to have surgery came last night. His status remains the same as he is expected to miss the season. Whoa, Rap Sheet.
Can't
What's
have
that
it.
all about?
Can't have it.
Can't have it.
How do we know if a surgery is successful or not anymore whenever this guy didn't even know if surgery happened yet and he's saying it's successful? He's just assuming whenever they said he'll have good, clean surgery. He just probably a miscommunication there. Whatever the case, hasn't had surgery yet. He's about to have surgery on his shoulder. I wonder, what is it, fractured? I don't know what it is. I have no clue. We didn't really hear anything out for the year. Your thoughts, Tone Diggs, diehard Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Stinks you never want to see a guy get hurt, but luckily it's at a position of strength. So, you know, hopefully you got Deontay and Claypool and James Washington. Hopefully Freiermuth gets some more targets down the middle.
Freiermuth is the tight end. There's one more update out of Ian. Juju Smith-Schuster had his shoulder reduced last night after a dislocation that can often result in a labral tear. He was examined and had an MRI last night, at which point the decision was made that he needed surgery. Okay, so he has a labral tear in his shoulder. I'm no doctor. It's in there, though.
It's in this
Somewhere
area.
there.
Oh, yeah.
It's right in here.
Somewhere.
Godspeed on a recovery. He will be a free agent after this season. Who knows how that all pans out for the Pittsburgh Steelers or for Juju. Definitely a bummer. Not as many, I'm not saying it. Too many flags.
Oh, yeah.
Too many flags. But on the flip side, doesn't seem like we've had as many, at last year, remember the injuries.
Oh, yeah.
Left and right.
Yeah. We lose Juju, which is a shame, but it feels like a mostly healthy league. Our show's not, though. We're back on hour 2. Cheers. Coach, one of the smartest humans to ever play in the NFL, and Andrew Luck. And I've told this story before where he made a check in the OTAs and the walkthrough, like the first one he was at, that the rest of the team didn't even know what it was. It was his first day on the practice field, his first day of practice, and he checked out of a blitz. Was that true? And was it at that moment you're like, oh, okay, we got the guy? Is that immediately how that thing happened? And did that thing actually happen with Andrew Luck?
Yeah, so he finally shows up, and he's missed the lion's share of the whole offseason. No offseason program, no OT. He's made one rookie mini camp, and then he's gone. And he finally shows up. We get out to practice, and we're, like you said, we're in a walkthrough, and BA calls a play, and he goes to the line of scrimmage. He's getting everything set up, and all of a sudden it was alert, opposite, makes us check, and T.Y., Reggie, Dwayne Allen, everybody in the back. We had the whole offense over here, the whole defense over here, 3 lines and chains. I spent the whole day, get the F back. I was the get back coach. And all of a sudden he rips out this check, alert, and changes the whole play, changes the protection. We go from a run to pass to run, and everybody's like, what the fuck did he just say? And what is that? We had to blow the whistle, get him back in the huddle, because nobody knew what he was checking to. And we're figuring, okay, this guy is a genius. He is a brainiac.
Why is football the greatest sport on earth? And do you think football is the greatest sport on earth? And why do you like football?
That's a really deep question there, Pat.
I know. I think I can get a good answer out of you, though. I think you'd be able to talk about it in a way that I think a lot of people haven't, because you've been at the pinnacle of it for so damn long and inside of it, and your brain is a pretty fantastic one. We've learned here over the last few weeks, obviously. Last few weeks, that's it. That's all the time we've learned that.
I think it's the greatest sport in the world for one main reason. It is a true team sport where it is damn near impossible for one person to dominate an entire game. And if you look at other team sports, basketball with 5 guys on the court, I think you've seen multiple players over the years. Maybe one player, maybe 1 or 2 players on a squad be able to dominate and win championships. Baseball, you can have a dominant pitcher and win championships. Soccer, you can have a dominant forward and or goalie. That seems to be a little more of a team sport, but you don't have 11 players engaged at the same time on every play. It is truly a sport reliant on every player on the field to do their job in order to be successful. And I think that's why at times, certain star players can get maybe too much credit and maybe too much blame on the flip side, because it does take so many players at the same time in 3 phases to win football games. And I think that's the beauty and the draw of our sport, is that something new happens all the time, because you are literally dealing with 11 humans on the field at one time who all have lives outside of football, and there's distractions, there's a reliance on coaching, there's a reliance on preparation, there's a reliance on diet and performance. I just think there's so many facets to it that you see something new every single week, and I think that's the beauty in our game. When it comes to the love that I have for it, it's rooted, and I think like any player who's played for a long time, the love is not just about our sport, it's about competition. And I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. I think players who play for a long time at a high level, you have that need to be satiated competitively, and it's a love of going out there and going against guys and being in an environment where you know that nothing is guaranteed. And that's why at times I've taken umbrage to people saying that it's easy, because it's not easy. It's never easy. And I think that's the beauty in our game, is that you see things new every single week. It's never easy. and your only thing you're guaranteed is the ability to compete. I love that aspect of it. I love competing. I love going out there and harnessing the fear of failure, where I think so many people who maybe don't love football as much, the root of that is a deep fear of failure, that you might go out there and your best might not be good enough, and that's not okay with you.
That happens. Some wide receivers. Ooh. Bowling, you hurt yourself? I mean, it's just right now, dude. Oh. That was good. They were all met.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show, Hour 2 on SiriusXM, Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio, and YouTube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. We have a guest joining us now.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Toxic Table at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt are here. The host of Hammer, Dahn, after getting his teeth kicked in this past weekend by the NFL at Tone Diggs. Hammer, Dahn goes live at YouTube.com/Hammer, Dahn. 15 minutes after every show ends. Tone, what's today going to be like? Are you going to be wearing all black because it's a funeral because your streak or your record is in the shit, or no? Are we okay? We're bouncing
It's
back.
fine. It
Tonight's a
happens.
get back night?
It's a long season. I mean, this fucking game tonight. Good luck.
Yeah.
What's that mean?
You got an idea?
I know. I do.
Oh.
I do. I think I do have an idea.
Okay.
I don't love it.
I mean, I know which team I like better, but I mean, who the fuck knows?
You know, I actually have a bet tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with a local establishment over there in Baltimore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a little bet.
That scumbag place?
Bingo. Hot
Johnny's Seafood?
Jimmy's. All right, Jimmy's famous seafood. All
You're
right.
worried about getting COVID?
Well, that's the
potentially?
thing. There for a little bit,
Or
I think.
cicadas in your crab cake.
Well, that's interesting because they did host the cicada parade to celebrate cicadas.
Oh, yeah.
Over there in Baltimore, as we were all dealing with these terrorists, these cicadas. They haven't been seen in 17 years, came out of the dirt and just started yelling. And it wasn't just one or two of them. It was literally hundreds of thousands of them in everybody's yard.
Yeah.
Immediately upon hearing how terrible it was, Jimmy says, let's have a fucking parade for these cicadas, dude.
Weren't they breeding murder hornets too?
I believe the murder hornets were trying to come buzz through the cicadas a little bit, trying to, hey, let's go ahead and make the super alpha murder annoying thing.
Yep.
We will actually create the. No, I'm not going to say it. No, I'm not going to say it. The most annoying. No, can't say. Anyways, they had a parade for the fucking cicadas. Then there was this Baltimore COVID spike.
Yeah.
Okay, not that there wasn't in every single city, but the Baltimore one, they asked every single person with COVID. They wore full, like Breaking Bad suits in the middle of the RV. What are those called?
Hazmat suits.
Hazmat suits. They wore full hazmat suits. They went into everybody in Baltimore that had COVID into their houses and asked them to write down where you were last, and they all said, Well, how could you not go to Jimmy's Famous Seafood?
That's the place.
Best crab cakes on earth. All of them wrote that. So they were allegedly linked to a cicada parade and maybe a COVID outbreak in the entire city because everybody eats at this place because they have the best crab cakes in the town. But still, two terrible things to be a part of. I got a chance to stop over there because my driver back to the airport got lost, stumbled into this place. Beautiful. Beautiful new bar.
Oh, Reno.
Beautiful new bar. The bakery looks unbelievable. I'm like, what is this place?
TV.
What is it? I go upside. Guess where? It was fucking Jimmy's.
Of course.
So all roads lead to this place, it seems like.
bitch.
I go inside. They have some very, very, very expensive tequila. It was unbelievable. The best tasting tequila I've ever had. We cheers, get one for everybody. Then they give us this platter of food that tasted better than any food I've
My
had.
God, it was delicious.
But as I walked out of there, I said, thank God I'm leaving these scumbags behind.
Hate it here.
This place stinks.
The
dude.
worst.
The worst place.
Hope you ate with your mask on.
Well, it's tough to.
Tried.
You know,
Yeah.
but with those crabs, you know, it's you gotta almost use the
A steak.
Anyways, I have a bet with them tonight. If the Colts win, which is going to happen. All right, for the sake of this is a bet.
Hell yeah.
The Colts, which is going to happen.
Hell yeah.
This team's bonding. All right, I saw them board the plane via the Colts social media. They all look like they're upbeat and happy and confident. If the Colts win, Jimmy's will donate $1,000 in crab cakes to Indianapolis first responders.
Wow.
If the Ravens win, I have to purchase $1,000 worth of crab cakes for our listeners because they do ship nationwide and they taste just as good as if you're in Baltimore.
Right.
I'd say let's make it 5,000. All right.
Okay.
5,000 for each. I assume he agrees. So that's what's on the line tonight. $5,000 worth of crab cakes for listeners. $5,000 worth of crab cakes for first responders. Let's assume everybody's going to end up with crab cakes somehow because one of us will try to out. No. Because we got to out, you know.
Top hand.
Yeah, you have to, especially with them. So it's a big night tonight. There's a lot of crab cakes on the line. To join us and chat about this and his thoughts on how this outcome could potentially be, ladies and gentlemen, college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup champion, AJ Hawk. What's up, dude?
Hey, I don't get. So why are they scumbags if they gave you free booze, free food, and they're going to donate to the first responders?
Did you hear about the cicada parade? Huh?
Okay, that makes them scumbags.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
COVID.
They dressed them up.
Yeah, did you hear about COVID, dude? Everybody in Baltimore.
No, what's that?
Well, so I tried to explain. You must have missed this part because you were so flabbergasted by the goddamn cicada parade. You're probably like, oh, we should have had that in Columbus. That's unbelievable. Celebrate something that's just so annoying. But they polled every person in Baltimore that got COVID over the last 18 months. And the one thing that they all had in common is they had eaten at Jimmy's. So you do the math, okay? Everybody gets COVID. One X factor, Jimmy's Seafood.
Super spreader.
How about that?
I mean, the crab cakes are delicious. You know, the crab cakes are unbelievable.
Best you're gonna
And I
find.
guess everybody in Baltimore does eat there, but that's the only X factor that I could find on the findings that I looked into. So, scumbags, ipso facto.
Also, they're not even giving you points tonight. Classic scumbag move.
Bingo. Wow. Bingo. And they might have texted me and said, hey, you up for this? And I might have said, yeah, without even looking into it. So that might have been them outsmarting me, which even more scumbags.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude. But goddamn, their crab cakes are great, AJ.
they're delicious.
Their food is
Top
so
tier.
good. They gave us some stuffed oysters or something like that.
The scallops.
Some steaks. Oh, it was so good. But fuck them.
Okay, is that a franchise? Are they all over? Are they all over like the state, or are they all over the country?
They should be, shouldn't they? That's a place that should be immediately.
I'm thinking Joe's Crab Shack. When you say Jimmy's Seafood, I think of Joe's Crab Shack. I've seen that in Ohio.
I've seen that too. I think those went out of. I think COVID killed Joe's.
Yeah, for sure.
I think COVID on Joe's, which recipes to all the companies that did not survive through the world stoppage or whatever. But Jimmy's is a different vibe.
Yeah.
It's a vibe. When you go in there, it is. I mean, everybody in there is terrible.
Horrible.
But as you're in there, you're like, this is a good time. Hey, how we doing? Hey, there's a bakery downstairs. And the story of it's even better. Like, even though they're scumbags, two kids' dad opened that place. I think he passed away when they were young. They started running that store as like high schoolers. Like two guys. So
Like old buddy with the Trashers. He was in high school when he took over the team.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bingo. Yeah, absolutely. Similar situation, I think. But yeah, the bakery is so, they had this.
Incredible.
They had this cookie brownie thing. Oh,
Connor told me there's a pizza store down in the basement.
Yeah, I think they were giving pizza late, huh? Is that what you said, Connor?
No, AJ's trying to spin his web of toxicity, and I'm not going to have it today.
Oh, you're saying. Oh, wow.
This
Cosmic
fucking guy.
this guy.
I'm just saying what he
Wouldn't
told
be
me.
surprised.
Oh,
This
you're
guy.
All right, anyways, let's talk about what happened yesterday. I went 8-6. You went 6-8. It would have came down to the Bills and the Chiefs, which we were split on. We could have tied completely. Instead, I'm the outright leader. What is your big takeaway after yesterday's games? What's the storyline we should be talking about? Obviously, thriller in Cincy with Green Bay getting a win. Kyler and that defense for the Cardinals seemed to come alive and get a big win against the Niners. There's a lot of good storylines, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, there is. I mean, honestly, I like the Cowboys right now to talk about just where they are, where they may be going. Like, I think hopefully people aren't getting too excited. I know Kellen Moore's getting a lot of love too, Dan Quinn as well. People seem to forget that McCarthy's the head coach, don't they? Like, with that Dan Quinn-led defense and Kellen Moore at the helm calling plays, like these guys you can't stop them.
I think that was on purpose, by design, right? By Mike McCarthy. We actually talked about this, and I kind of mocked it, but it might be real. I don't know. Other than smashing watermelons and guiding team meetings and CEOing this, right? There's two different styles of head coach. There's the head coach that is calling plays in every single offensive meeting, a quarterback meeting, and they do that. Or there's like a CEO style where, and some people label it figurehead, but I don't think that's kind of a shot. I don't think that's the case. Just manages the everydays. Like, talks with the offense. This is what we should do. Just like Nagy was probably saying, this is how I feel about it. How do you guys feel about it? All right, let's come together. You guys go execute that. All right, let me meet with Dan Quinn. He has his ideas. I have my ideas. All right, let's go execute that. I'll run the team meetings, the schedule. I'll deal with Jerry. You think that's what Mike's doing and blasting watermelons? And that maybe that is why Kellen and Dan Quinn are getting all the credit, because he's just more so a CEO in this entire thing?
I mean, he's definitely taken on that role as like the CEO head coach, but for the majority of his head coaching career, he was doing everything. He was in every, he's doing all the offensive game plan. He's calling the plays on game day. And how many times do I say it on here? The most important position on a coaching staff is the guy that calls the offensive plays. He can affect the game more than any other coach on that staff.
And I also think when you're calling plays, that can affect you being a head coach too. Well,
there's just so much going on and so many little in-game decisions you have to make. Like, when do we take timeouts? Like, what do we do? Okay, if we do score, we're going for two. Like, all of those things you have to think ahead of. It's a little tougher, I guess, when you have all of that like on you when you're calling plays. Because think about it. If you're calling offensive plays, don't you want to sit there and talk to your quarterback and your offense for a good chunk of time when they come off the field? But you're the head coach. You kind of have to be out there and at least observing the defense and trying to decide on what you may need to do here coming up.
Especially injuries, too. Whenever the trainer has to come up to you, hey, this guy's down, this guy could go. Then you got to go talk to the defensive coordinator, like, hey, your corner might be out. You might be out. You might have to do this. Should we move this person to this person? How about going over to special teams now? Who's going to cover? You got to go meet with the special teams guy now. What's the best idea? Or you make a promise to your wife that if you're going to be a head coach again, you're going to kind of take your hands out of some things and just fucking, I'll let other people do it, all right? Listen, I understand I don't have to watch film on every single game so I can know the new offenses, all right? I'm gonna sit out a little bit. I'll let Kellen Moore, I'll let him age 15 years or 1 year. I'll let Kellen Moore do that type of thing. I think that type of head coach is better, although Chuck told us, you're lonely. You're out on an island because you're almost all by yourself because you're dealing with everybody, but you're not really dealing with one thing with a team anymore, which is what it used to be like. And I think yesterday was a funny thing. Bob Saleh, you remember what he was like on the sideline of a game?
Oh, yeah. Lunatic. Fiery.
Do you remember why and how he was what he was? And I don't even know if Chuck wants me to say that he texted me that, but he texted me. He said, hey, you remember what Coach Saleh used to look like on the sideline of a game? And then they cut to Bob on the sideline of that London game, and he's just sitting there just fucking miserable, headset on, right? Most of the times we saw him, the headset was flying off. He was celebrating with the defense. Now he's got to deal with, all right, is Zach Wilson going to be able to continue to evolve? Is our offense going to be able to move? Are we going to be able to stop a goddamn tight end one time down here? There is just all that going on. It's a different game when you become that head coach. I think it's nice to see that McCarthy has gone hands off, but also dealing with the entire thing, and they're having success, so who gives a damn at this point?
Yeah, you're the head coach. Like, all that matters is if you win. So whoever's calling the plays offensively, defensively, who cares? If you're the head man and you're winning, I think ultimately the credit comes to you, and if you lose, also they come to you and say, all right, see you later. You're out of here.
We talked about the Cowboys in the first hour, and we said it felt like for 10 to 20 years the Cowboys get hyped up. And this might be the year that it's like, all right, maybe it's coming together this year.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a year where there's something to really get excited about. It wasn't that long ago. What am I going to say, AJ?
I honestly don't know. I'm curious why the long pause.
It wasn't that long ago that somebody on this show predicted.
I was ahead of my time.
That's not how predictions work. That's not how predictions work.
Hey, if Dak would have stayed healthy, you never know. Maybe we would have seen.
Never know. Hey, you never know. That's football. That's the NFL. But AJ predicted that the Dallas Cowboys were going to be in the Super Bowl last year with the Chiefs and the Buccaneers still in the league that they were in. He said Dallas Cowboys going to represent the NFC. He might have been a year ahead of time, but I don't know how you could have predicted them to be this good. And maybe you did. Maybe you did think they were going to go on to do great, but I think it's because of Dak, right? It's our belief in Dak. I think the more I learn about Dak Prescott, the more and more I'm like, okay, that team could be a team because they got a guy. They got a fucking guy. You need a guy. You got a guy, you can win. You don't got a guy, you can't win. They got a guy, it seems like.
They got a guy in Dak, and also Zeke is playing, I think, very, very good, like he was a couple years ago. CeeDee Lamb, I love that dude. Like, just everything. His look, his whole uniform, everything about it, his socks. I'm hoping he doesn't get fined every game for his socks. He seems to be able to skirt the rules there, but the dude seems to be unstoppable. I love how he obviously is not super thick. Like, he's a skinny little dude, and he seems to just run by everybody. He runs great routes. He's fun to watch. He's been fun to watch for the next 12 years probably for the Cowboys, hopefully.
Yeah, and Dan Quinn has turned around that defense. Mike McCarthy leading the way.
The man.
Yeah, he is. He's
turnovers. It's amazing what you can do. Like, when you have eyes on the ball and you're breaking, like, you can create turnovers. And a guy like Micah Parsons doesn't hurt to hit on him in the draft too, where you can move him wherever you want and he can have an impact.
People are saying Diggs is like Prime, new edition of Prime. Deion Sanders. That's what a lot of Cowboys fans are saying, I believe, because they saw Prime in their prime, watching the prime time of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, are we back to it with the modern day Prime? 6 picks in 4.5 games, 6 picks in 5 games. Absolutely doing it. Fun to watch. Good for the Cowboys. But they beat the Giants. The Giants stink.
Yep.
Yeah.
Giants stink. So let's go to a couple other games, shall we? Your thoughts on the Bills Chiefs before Darius Butler joins us. What do you think about the Bills and the Chiefs last night? What a rot. And that locker room's small, AJ. For an hour and 10 minutes, 2 toilets, for them to come out and continue to bury the Chiefs, that was a great performance by the wagon that is Bills Mafia.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm super worried about the Chiefs, but yeah, I'm not as confident as I was 3 weeks ago, maybe. I feel like the Chiefs can always figure it out. I know they probably eventually will, but man, the Bills look awesome. And I think obviously Josh Allen is a huge reason. I like their defense. It was cool to see Micah Hyde get a pick 6 in that game too. But yeah, I don't know what the Chiefs are. I don't know. Like, I definitely know like they're going to be there, and if they stay healthy, they'll make a run at the thing. But I just don't know if they can, like, how do you turn this thing around to where they look like the Chiefs that we know?
Defensively, it's a potential problem. I don't know how you fix that. On the offense, I think they're going to have to finagle with some things because they said that they've been seeing coverages that nobody on earth is seeing the last few weeks. So I think what everybody is doing is potentially just rushing 3 or 4 and dropping everybody back into coverage. So whenever Patrick Mahomes, who said that he just started learning how to read defenses like a year ago, everything that he had known in the past is now changing because they're dropping 2 to 3 extra guys into the coverages. So what was once cover 2 is now cover 2 with 2 floaters almost happening back there. Is that an accurate assessment of what is happening if they drop 8, 7 back to them? And is that going to be a problem that they can't fix?
Well, it's hard when they do that. They rush 3 or 4 and they say, all right, here, we're not going to give up anything deep. We're going to keep at least 2 safeties deep, and you're not going to beat us over the top. Yeah, you can move down the field usually, but eventually people are going to try to squeeze the ball into a window you shouldn't. It's like the whole bend but don't break thing, I feel like. And when you get opportunities to win one-on-ones, you have to win with those front 4, I think, and get some pressure. It sucks. It's like when Aaron comes on, he's talked about back in the day when the Bears used to have Urlacher and all those guys. They're running Tampa too like 60 times in a game. That would happen. And they're just trusting, like, hey, we're going to make him throw underneath balls, not beat us over the top, and eventually we're going to force him into it. We're going to get a tips, overthrows, and try to get a turnover.
The Manning cast displayed that beautifully, I think, whenever he was playing against the Raiders. No.
Lions.
Lions.
Yeah.
He was playing against the Lions. They were in cover two, and Peyton, who I never saw just run the ball all the time, I think he threw the ball most of the time. He was like, this is the challenge, right? They're daring you. They're challenging you just to stay consistent, run the ball, not do anything crazy. Like, this is the challenge. You got to frame that in your mind if you're Aaron. And then all of a sudden, on a 3rd and 7 or something, they go into man, and Aaron just boom, right down, and then boom, touchdown. So it was cool to watch Peyton watch Aaron do it, because literally as soon as they dropped out or went to cover one or whatever, went to one-on-one outside, Aaron acknowledged, Aaron was almost more excited than Peyton was. It was like, all right, we can throw this one, bang, bang, touchdown. Then they went back to the cover two, boring stuff. That's crazy that is literally what they're trying to do. We'll give you yards, but we think eventually you're going to get greedy. It's just like, can you stay patient, and can your defense hold up as well? It's a crazy game.
Can your defense hold up with having like 2 safeties deep? Like, if they don't need to bring an extra man in the box and they have a light box, like, can your 7 guys in the box stop their run game too? Like, you have to prove to them that you could stop the run too. Like, offensively, if you can run the ball when they're doing that, they're going to have to start bringing a guy down and try to get a little more risky, I guess, at least in the pass game.
Joining us now is a man who played safety, nickel, I believe dime, and corner. Probably had to come into the box and drop into coverage his entire career. That's football. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of the Man to Man podcast, Blue Wire podcast. Congrats on that. And also the host of Everything DB, ladies and gentlemen, Darius Butler.
Yo, what's up, fellas? Good week.
Hey, great week. I hope you had a fantastic one gambling. I want to kind of cap off this conversation we're currently having. Patrick Mahomes said they're seeing coverages that nobody else has ever seen before, basically. And I think the Bills only rushed on one play. They brought pressure. Kind of what the Steelers did to the Bills week 1. Is that what people have to do against these high-powered offenses? And do you think they'll be able to beat it? Or do you think this is just going to become their life now because of how much they throw and how much success they've had?
I mean, I think definitely they'll be able to figure it out, at some point. Like AJ said, you definitely have to have a threat of the run. We're going to keep as many guys back as possible. You saw last year, they came out of the gate against the Bucs. I think Ty Hill had like 200 yards in the first half one game, and Bowles adjusted the second half. And then you saw in the Super Bowl, they did the same thing. They kept 2 safeties back. You prevented Tyreek Hill from, creating that big play, and you force them to be patient. So they're going to have to adjust, but they still have the weapons. I know it's overreaction Monday, but I definitely won't write them off yet. Everybody doesn't have that personnel that Buffalo has. You know what I mean? They got a good enough personnel, good enough team, good enough defense where they can rush for and they can be multiple in the back end. They got 2 safeties that can pretty much do everything. So if you have the personnel to do that, they're going to struggle. But I think Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, Patrick Mahomes, they'll figure it out, and they're going through a little rough patch here. But, this is everybody jumped on that train early. They're going to dominate for 15 years. They're going to win 10 Super Bowls. It's the greatest thing ever. But as we know, the NFL adjusts, and sometimes they catch up.
It's Overreaction Monday, dude. What?
That's how it works week to week here. Like, a guy that we're saying is the greatest of all time next week is a coaching staff usually people will call for their head, say they should be fired. Like,
True.
That's just where we are. That's what the NFL is. But I wanted to
It's
jump
the world,
to
by the way. It's the world, not just NFL.
the Vikings Lions game with the interaction with Zimmer and Kirk Cousins, which first off I thought was awesome. I think it's a great thing. There's no animosity there. That's what dudes do. Like, you get excited, you beat each other up. Like, what do you think of that, D-Butt? Was that all positive for you?
Oh, definitely. Definitely positive. Zimmer was big on they were bumping heads early on. They're pretty close there. I was surprised by that. But I think it was an awesome interaction. It's tough to win ball games. They won a close one, at the buzzer pretty much against Foxy's poor Lions, man. I had my guy MCDC up there boo-hooing and shit. They don't cry in football, man. Figure it out. Get better. Win a damn. Oh, he cares. Oh, he cares. So everybody cares, man. It's a big boys league. Win a damn game. I feel sorry for Foxy, though.
Hey, D-Bud. Foxy said give that guy a lifetime contract after that.
Be the Lions coach forever, D-Bud. We've never had a guy care this much about a team that is obviously cursed.
Bruh, caring, you get paid to care. You get, effort. You go get a bum on the street to run to the ball. Everybody does that. You got to care, man. Win a ball game, man. They're playing, they're fighting. I get it. As a Lions fan, I think he's setting the culture right. The guys do like him. The guys play hard for him. But I know a lot of people were jumping on that. Oh, Dan Campbell cares and he's crying. And I didn't do much for me. Figure that shit out.
MCDC loves his team. Loves his team. That's
He loves the city.
It's week
Blue
5.
collar.
Hey, it's week 5, by the way. Imagine like a real. You know what I mean? I don't know what's gonna happen, but I do like the fact that he cares that much after a week 5. A week 5 loss. Let's fucking go, Lions.
Let's
dude.
go.
Gut-wrenching losses, man.
Hey, let's talk about defense not playing football. Okay, Darius, have a conversation. This Browns-Chargers game was electrifying, a shootout. Every game it seems like the world loves normally means the defensive side of the ball stinks, and that is kind of what took place. Both sides, they threw for an astounding record. Do we have the any of the graphics for the records? The amount of records that were broke. Obviously, Baker Mayfield and the Browns are the first team ever yet to score 40 points in a game without committing a turnover and lose. The record for a team doing that, 401-0 in the history of those games. Damn. Where you scored 40 points and didn't have a turnover. Somehow the Browns ended up losing that game, and the Browns and Chargers combined for 89 points, 1,025 yards, 52 first downs, 12 touchdowns. Shout out to the NFL putting that graphic together and those stats together. Darius, is there just some games where the defenses decide pregame, fuck it, we're not going to do anything today?
Man, hey, it's some games when these quarterbacks, man, when they're on. And a team like the Chargers, I've been on this Herbert. I've been driving this fan club bus for a while now, and everybody's kind of, jumping on it, jumping on the back. Now everybody sees what I saw. So it's Overreaction Monday, and yeah, he's going to win the MVP this year. They're going to win the AFC West. But, I mean, it was a shootout, man, and his coach is smart as hell. He kind of is one of those guys. He's a football guy, but he's also big on analytics. So he's going to go for it on fourth. He's going to go for it on 2-point conversions. And Browns couldn't get off the field on third down. So, yeah, you're going to lose in those critical situations when a guy gets one more opportunity. It got to a point where they had to push Eckler in the end zone just to give themselves another chance. But, I mean, defense, they just couldn't get off the field. It's not only a third down game anymore. It's like you got to win on third, and then, damn, we got to win again on fourth down. So that's tough, especially when you got a guy like Herbert at the helm.
Okay, so D-Butt, you're in the secondary. AJ, you're in the linebacker. I know No Moss is in basically every single defensive playbook. Hey, we got to give up a score so we can try to get the ball back. This situation was perfect for a No Moss play. Did you guys practice? Hey, if he don't want to score, fucking make him, dude. Pick his ass up and throw him in your own end zone. That was awesome to watch and for them to execute. A lot of people were wondering why they didn't just take a knee. Do you guys know why not? I understand they're trying to center it or whatever. That was a clusterfuck there, though. Have you guys ever been taught to pick somebody up and dump them in the end zone? D-But, you go first. I'm sorry.
Never. I don't remember actually practicing it. You let the guy. You let the guy score. You let him score. But back, it was 4 years ago. But when I was playing, analytics wasn't as big a part of the game. This situation probably happened a handful of times. I can remember Bradshaw doing it, but I don't necessarily remember actually practicing a play. We're picking up a guy and putting him in the end zone. We definitely knew the situation, when it presented itself.
Yeah, Pat, I think we may have practiced it a few times. We never practiced it where you would pick the dude up. Like, hey, if he's going to try to take a knee or he's trying to get down, you guys do whatever you can to get him in the end zone. I know our offense, I'm sure you guys is too. D-Butt would know more than Pat, unless Pat, you said you did watch practice. Like on Fridays, did you guys
third-string quarterback?
Would your offense work on your offense taking a safety where the quarterback would dance around, hang around the end zone, then just step out the back?
Yeah, and then I actually had to do it as well on the punt, because there's the slow punt and everything. And after a week, I don't know, 2 of doing it, I was like, all right, I think I got it. I think I got it, but I guess.
It's for the linemen, though. They teach the linemen to hold. All the linemen.
Yep, everybody holds.
Yeah, everybody tackle the person in front of you. It's not even a hold, by the way. It should just be a tackle. Just go tackle the person, because normally one person would end up missing the hold anyways, and they're coming scot-free. But all those situations are practice. I didn't know if the No Moss, also carry ass, was also in there. Turns out that was not the case. What's the big storyline you think going into the night, Darius? Obviously, the Colts going to play against Baltimore in Baltimore. That crowd is awesome. Should be an incredible environment. What are you thinking going into the night, D-Butt?
I unfortunately picked against my coach tonight, man. I think Lamar Jackson, he's another special quarterback, man. And the league is filled with him. The AFC, it looks wide open now. You got the Chargers, you got the Bills. And then Lamar is another guy who can have his team right in that position too. So I think he's going to try to make this a statement game. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully Colts upset. But I got the Ravens winning the night and covering that 7 points too.
That place is going to be loud over there.
Oh, yeah.
That stadium
especially at night.
Oh, yeah. That place is going to be loud. Go ahead, Diggs.
This is kind of actually a question for all three of you who've played in the NFL.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have you guys ever had a head coach that had no idea what a challenge was, and then like the entire sideline, like, hey, shithead, throw the flag, even though it clearly shouldn't have been thrown, and then once they did throw the flag, run up and then goose him for throwing the challenge flag?
I didn't goose him. He gave him a good slap on the ass. It wasn't a goose. Him walking around, this number here in front of the ref even a couple times.
Did you hear what Siciliano said?
No.
Because that challenge flag looks the same color as that 3/4 Ohio State zip.
No, he didn't.
See, that wasn't my red zone, but I did see a bunch of tweets saying that Siciliano said that.
Siciliano is a savage dude.
For throats.
He said, hey, look me in the eyes. Let's go eye to eye real quick. Him finally throwing it on the field, though, was one of the best displays of why is this guy here? You know what I mean? Nobody believes this is going another year, right, D-Butt?
People heard it here first. I think it was January. You spoke about, you guys, or him knowing you. And I said, hey, I wouldn't go near this guy to 10-foot pole. I would not hire this dude in the NFL. And I don't see him lasting past this year. I wasn't watching that terrible game, so I didn't actually see what happened. But I've definitely seen some coaches rattled, in that challenge situation. Obviously, he's got a lot on his mind. Team got a lot on their mind, so it doesn't surprise me at all. But I think after this year, they washed their hands of old Herb.
AJ, he stinks, dude.
Well, the whole challenge thing, it looked like he was he waiting on confirmation from somebody in the booth to throw it or not? But then there was so much like a groundswell of everybody's like, you got to throw this thing. In his mind, he probably thought like, no, we're going to lose. And he ended up losing the challenge anyway.
Yeah, so he was probably right in the end, but looked terribly wrong throughout the entire process. That seems to be maybe, an upside for Urban in this entire thing is that maybe he was holding off for confirmation. And then whenever it doesn't come through, maybe in the meeting he could say, I was waiting. I did a lot of things wrong. But you guys wanted the chat. Now we're even, right? You guys wanted the challenge. I didn't want to do it. Now we're even. Let's move along here. You know what I mean?
It must have been a situation in that game too, where a quarterback sneak possibility came up, and I saw him speak on it, saying Trevor Lawrence wasn't ready for that. Like they had to practice it. I don't know if you guys I've never seen a quarterback sneak practice in practice. I think that's just one of those things that quarterbacks have. And then Trevor Lawrence came out basically like, yeah, I'm ready for a quarterback sneak if we need one. So this dude's a piece of work, man.
To the exact point that Darius Butler was making there, we actually have the clip, and it is amazing watching Urban dance around trying to answer the question without answering the question, and in doing so says about 10 things he probably shouldn't have said. He probably just should have answered it head on. This seems to be a thing. We do not have the video, but yeah, it's clipped together of him dancing, and then Trevor immediately after goes, no, yeah, I know, that's no problem at all.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God. Now, Trevor, who has been put in an incredibly interesting situation. Okay, this guy, ever since he's in 7th grade, this guy's going to be the next guy. 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, this guy's going to be the next guy. Goes to Clemson, wins a natty. This guy's going to be the next guy. Always going to be the next guy. He had to wonder whenever he went to Jacksonville, like, all right, this is going to be my home. 10, 15 years, I'm going to be able to do this thing just like everybody thought. And then all of a sudden, the Urban Meyer thing starts unraveling, and he's like, this place stinks. The NFL is an absolute joke. But he's held it together, I think. He's going to have to. He knows he's going to outlive Urban Meyer, I'd assume. It's going to be his franchise now and going forward, and I don't think there's a better quarterback for it. But that was definitely an interesting series of events in that press conference. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, D-Buck. Kadarius Toney threw a mean right hook on one of the Cowboys D-backs. Are you trying to antagonize young guys on the other side? And how do you do that?
No, I wouldn't say, not me personally, never trying to antagonize anybody. But it was stupid, man. He was having the best game, of his early career. Obviously, with a lot of guys being out with the Giants, he had probably over 170 yards or something crazy like that. So to do something like that, Joe Judge is going to have to either suspend him for a quarter or some bullshit to try to make a statement. But it's stupid. I didn't try to antagonize guys like, especially young guys. That wasn't part of it. You're just trying to win in between those lines. But stupid, selfish moment by him. Young kid, so I hope he learns from it.
Debo, you're one of the biggest Doll fans I know. I assume you have your ear to the ground in South Florida. That team fucking stinks. Has the Deshaun Watson stuff really picked up around down there, or what are you hearing?
It has picked up. Life comes at you fast as a Doll fan. We do stink right now. Biggest point differential in the league. My guy Jacoby, is not looking good for him right now. D-Flow struggling, but we'll be all right long term. Especially with Herbert. Watching Herbert do what he's doing, man, I think it just hurts a little bit more. But when we get Tua back, still got a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. Still got a couple years for Tua to continue to grow, by the way. I mean, Herbert might be in the MVP conversation this year. Gumpy, your thoughts on having to watch Herbert do what Herbert does every single week when Tom Telesco, the general manager of the Los Angeles Chargers, actually said, whoever the Dolphins took, we're just going to take the other guy. So you guys took Tua, obviously. It might work out long term, but in the very present time in which we live on a day-to-day, it looks like you guys are staring down a whole we stink situation for a long time, Gump.
Yeah, if anybody, one person said to take Herbert before Tua, I would feel hurt a little bit, but hindsight's 20/20. You know how it goes.
Oh, you're saying in the time it was to make that draft selection, not a single person said the shy, the guy who might not be able to handle the big lights, the guy who was out at Oregon, although he looks like he could be the part. He is not Tua, who's been at Bama and done the whole thing.
Yeah, nobody was beating that drum.
I did say don't take Tua. I did say
a lot of people said don't take Tua, but nobody said to take Herbert.
Tannenbaum said.
Tannenbaum said?
Tannenbaum said it would be irresponsible to take somebody with his injury history in the first 5 picks of the NFL draft. And we all thought that Tannenbaum was speaking as if he was speaking to the owner because he has a relationship, I guess, with the owner. So I automatically was like, well, if Tannenbaum, who's talking to the goddamn owner, saying it, he must be out of there. And then turns out maybe they're all throwing a little smoke and mirrors there in draft season.
Yeah, that was my issue too. Obviously, he had a bunch of injuries at Bama, but that big hip one. And he's a lefty, man. I mean, you got to play your odds. Like, how many lefties have come in and dominate the NFL? You look at Vic, but he ran a 4.2, and I wouldn't say he dominated either. So when I'm going to lefty quarterback with those health issues, it was definitely a big concern there. I like Gump said, it wasn't on the Herbert train because of all the question marks that they had around him. But if you're an evaluator in this organization, you're going and looking and thinking about taking a guy at number 5, you should do a little digging and just find out that he's a damn introvert and he's not a bad leader and all this other bullshit. But hindsight is 20/20, and he does look like the best pick of that bunch.
How come the lefty thing is a real thing? Why is that?
I don't know why, but it's a thing. That's the thing. So if I look
I can't fucking tell you.
I can't tell you. I don't know if it's the coordinator. You got to think, if you're a coordinator, if you're a play caller, your whole career pretty much, you've probably been calling plays for right-handed quarterbacks. Offensive line, same thing. Boots, the different directions.
Now your right tackle is the most important position too on the O-line.
Yeah, so it changes things. The spin on the ball is different, just like a lefty punter and a righty punter. That's a different spin. It's different reasons why that may be true. But if I'm taking a guy top 5, if I am going to take a lefty, he at least got to have a clean bill of health. So it was a risk, and like you said, we still got time with Tua though. We're not giving up on him yet.
Still got time. Going to be a rough couple years watching Herbert do his thing though. Go ahead, Nick.
D-Buck, quick question: what the hell happened to UConn this weekend?
You guys lost to UMass, dude.
Oh yeah,
UMass.
That is rough. It's rough. UMass used to be the school where guys would go when they weren't good enough to play on UConn. Like, that's where our guys, oh man, go ball out of UMass. And for them to beat us, they were 1-11, I believe, in 2019. Didn't play last year, and they came out and beat us. It's bad, man. We're in a bad spot in UConn football right now, man.
Hey, those cats stink, dude.
We suck.
Hey, we lost to Baylor. Bad. Embarrassing bad. Can't be losing to Baylor like that, especially it's Baylor without Matt Rule or RG3. Yeah. Well, you got to win game. I mean, we stink too. West Virginia's not great as well. But then as soon as I found out you guys lost to UMass, I was like, all right, I guess it could be worse. I guess I'll trust the climb of Neil Brown. We didn't lose fucking UMass. I guess it could be much. Who's coaching up there, UConn?
Spanos now. We fired Essel after 2 games, and then we hired Spanos.
Yeah. He retired.
He retired.
Yeah, he announced his retirement at the end of the season, and AD just said, you know what, we're going to do this thing today. So he is retired. He's golfing right now. We got old Spanos up there. Frankie's up there coaching the O-line. You remember Frankie with the coach.
Yeah, that's really the UConn coach right now?
Yeah, no, he's O-line coach.
I love him. Good luck up
Frankie's
there.
a
Hey,
good dude.
hey, Frankie, get out of there. You can't be coaching for a team that loses to UMass. You deserve a lot better. Ladies and gentlemen, hosting the Man to Man podcast, a Blue Wire podcast, and also everything DB, ladies and gentlemen, at Darius J. Butler. Attaboy, D-Butler. How did Ohio State do this weekend?
I believe they won.
They beat the dog shit out of Maryland.
Yeah, but
they needed it. It was a good one.
it is good. Get the boys back on track or whatever. But college football had maybe its greatest Saturday in some time. And that's why, like, the West Virginia Baylor thing definitely stunk. But I also got to watch the Red River shootout.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Oklahoma was getting dog walked out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely smashed, stacked, and baited by Texas. There was actually the Aflac question by Chris Felica. Bear, what is the biggest blowout a first-year head coach has given to the other team in the history of the Red River shootout? And it was Switzer or something in 1974 or something. Yeah, 73 or 74 or something like that. He won 50-13 or so. I forget exactly what it was. They were talking about Sark coming into this thing and changing it completely. In the State Fair, Dahn there in Cotton Bowl, beating the hell out of Oklahoma. Welcome to the Sark era, people were tweeting. I was getting texts and calls from my friends in Texas that love Texas. Bruce Pritchard, Texas legend, wrestling legend, texted me and said, fucking Texas is back, buddy. All right? People love Texas in Texas, and beating Oklahoma is a massive. And then all of a sudden, Caleb Williams comes in that game, shits on Spencer Rattler. Or Spencer Rattler's life is terrible, by the way. Gets 4-0 as a starting quarterback in a massive school at a place that loves football. And there's portions of the student section chanting, fuck you, Rattler. He's undefeated. And then all of a sudden, Caleb Williams gets in there, breaks 6 tackles, scores a touchdown. Rattler goes back out and is like, hey, your time is limited here, pal. Boom! This freshman goes into superstardom. Spencer Rattler's probably transferring today, if I had to guess. Everybody's going to mock him and make fun of him. I don't know what he's supposed to do. Caleb Williams is a superstar. Texas loses. They stink. Didn't even cover.
Yeah, I mean, heartbreaker for Texas and Matt McConaughey and Sark. I would imagine they all felt pretty good. I mean, that was an awesome game. It really was. But hey, credit to Rattler. He came in and got a huge 2-point conversion that they needed after he'd been out for a little bit. Like at least he kept his head in the game a little bit, which would have been very difficult, I believe.
I agree. I agree. They were judging his mannerisms on the sideline. Rattler's rattled. Everybody was saying, obviously, he didn't go celebrate Caleb's long run or long touchdown or throw or something like that. It's like, listen. He should have been pumped up for him. I agree. He should have celebrated, been a good teammate. But you could also see how that kid potentially is like, oh, my life is over now.
Yeah.
The Heisman front runner coming into this year.
Yeah. Top 5 pick.
I was going to win the Heisman. Now I'm a backup.
Yeah, but doesn't it? It's a Red River shootout. Fucking put that behind you, pal. Okay, worry about that tomorrow. Let's just get a win over Texas. Let's make sure we can put these horns down all over this place. Let's make sure we can do that. And I got a little lesson, too, from my Texas friends. You know what Sooner means?
No.
Okay, so I actually wrote notes for this thing. All right, so there was something called the Oklahoma Land Rush. All right, this is a true story.
Yeah. Okay.
The word Sooner in itself is actually cheater, is the message that I was told from my Texas friend. And I responded, this is Bruce Pritchard, by the way. I responded with, I don't know what that means. And he said, it's too long to text, and he calls me. So he calls me immediately while watching the game. Texas is up over Oklahoma. He's flying high. I don't know how closely he follows football, but it sure felt like Bruce Pritchard every year wants Texas to fucking beat Oklahoma. That's what it felt like. So it was awesome, kind of riding a wave while watching this whole thing. And the name Sooner comes from the Oklahoma Land Rush. They had made an agreement that everybody was going to be able to go get 2 to 4 acres of land whenever they were going across in the wagon and everything like that. And you weren't allowed to start seeking your land, your 2 to 4 acres, until a cannon went off in the morning when there was like sunlight. That would then imply everybody who's in one area could go off and find their land. It was something that was agreed to. What ended up happening, obviously, is there was a bunch of people that went out much sooner. They went out in the middle of the night before the boom. They claimed their own land, kicking people basically out of Oklahoma Oklahoma to go elsewhere.
Wow.
So the Sooners are actually the people that heard that there was an agreement about a boom to come to go get their land. The Sooners said, nah, we ain't waiting for that shit. I can't run as fast as that motherfucker. Let's go ahead. Our horses are slow as shit. We need to start now. We don't have time. And that's where the term Sooner came from, allegedly from a Texas fan. I'm assuming there's an Oklahoma definition as well, but it feels like it shouldn't be boomer Sooner. It should be Sooner Boomer. I think, if that's an accurate tale.
Oklahoma Boomers would be sweet, too.
That would be sweet.
I would assume Oklahoma people have their own
boomers,
their own belief of what happened.
Well, I'm just telling you, I mean, it was very matter of fact that it was being told to me, and I have no idea if it's true or not, but the word Sooners is a bunch of people that made an agreement and backed out on it and said, I'm going to go get my own land. Nah, you can fuck off and go over to wherever.
Did you reach out to Bruce after the game? Like, hey, hope you're doing all right?
I did not follow up. No, he was flying high. I mean, Texas was a state again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I said, hey, Texas seems like a state again. You got people moving in there, creating, generating, winning this Red River rivalry. How we doing? Keep it moving. Texas is a state. It was literally our last sentence. He said, it always has been.
Oh, man.
And then hung up. It was awesome.
Better get Arch.
He's a legend, by the way. He is a great conversation. Bruce Pritchard. Great conversation. They all are over there at the wrestling world.
Yeah.
The internet says a lot of things about a lot of people who've probably been around WWE for like 30, 40 years. I guess there's a lot of pent-up potential stories and happenings that could go through there. They've been all very nice to me. I'm very thankful.
Yeah, good people.
Very nice to you, Slapdicks, too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
nice.
ridiculous. They shouldn't be.
Makes no sense.
Too nice, actually.
Other people probably experience something different. I'm just going to tell you how I did. Bruce Pritchard's fucking awesome. Kevin Dunn, also awesome. He's in my ear every single show. And by the way, Vince McMahon in my ear. Awesome.
Yeah.
I don't ever see him in real life anymore, though. I just hear him.
Interesting.
It's kind of cool, though.
The voice of God.
Just the voice of God
Yeah.
in my ear. Ha ha ha. That's when I know I really done it. Like when I almost got my head ripped off.
Sure, man.
Yeah.
You know, at the
Dangerous.
end of that thing. Because that thing's clipped to my sport coat and it was wrapped around his foot. So, I mean, it was like dragging me a little bit. I'm like, well, I'm not going to deal with this at all. And I go running, then I put the other one on. As soon as I put the headset back on, there is a pretty good in my ear. Or whatever. I'm like, all right,
He obviously wants you to hear that because he's got to press the push to talk button in your ear to hear him laugh.
Yeah, and there's other things he wants me to hear too throughout the night. What? All right, yeah, got it. Thumbs up to him. Yeah, all right, I will. All right.
Tone it down.
All right, I will.
Sorry.
I will back off. All right, we're back at 4 minutes. There's other things though where there's sometimes where I feel like he is in a groove where he'll just ask me a question in the middle of the show and he wants me to answer it live, obviously. So he's like, what about
It's a great producer.
Yeah,
That's what great producers do.
And then sometimes Cole will be in the middle of something, or even a wrestler will be speaking, and he's like, cut him off. And I'm like, and then I want to tell Cole, like, I think there's something much better that could be said right now. It's coming from a voice inside of my brain right now, though. I want to let you know. It's awesome. It is amazing. I enjoy the hell out of it. We're back at 4 minutes. I love this show, by the way. Overreaction Mondays are the best.
The best. And then, you follow it up, too.
Aaron Rodgers Tuesday tomorrow.
Just get
Coach us up Wednesdays.
Coach us up Wednesday. Catch us up Chuck Wednesday. I guess we're at 40,000 people watching on YouTube. Let's go! All right, we're taking some phone calls on the other side. Hopefully it's one of yours. 1-833-4-McAfee. Then we'll wrap up hour 2. Hour 3, we'll see more phone calls, more breakdowns, more overreactions from around Twitter, and more life. We thank you so much. We'll see you in 4. Whenever you're working on golf, do you still have the same routine that you had whenever you were younger now, or is it much different? And how often do you just go down there and just hit Phil Mickelson flop shots all day? But anytime you turn one sideways and you flatten it, you're like, oh, watch this. I'm going to do like Phil Mickelson does. And then you just go out there. Normally you either blade it, hit it straight up in the air to the right, or you somehow get lucky and it goes and everybody's like, oh my God.
Incredible shot.
Phil Mickelson. Wow. That's what that is kind of become, and I remember you hit the one over your head that one time. That was a mind blower from me. Is the short game something you've always just been good at, or are you good at it because that's all you work like so much on it at all times?
When I was a kid, my dad had a little chipping area in our backyard and putting green, and so I would just go out there and hit balls because I couldn't really go to the golf course, and all I did was shots inside 30 yards. And it got very monotonous to hit the same shot over and over, so I'd go behind the avocado tree. I'd go back around the other trees and bushes and rough and so forth. And so I would get creative as a kid hitting those shots. And you kind of learn a couple of things. But what I would say, Pat, is that there's really only one way to chip effectively, because you're coming in with no coverage on the ball. You're coming in with so much loft that the leading edge is coming in first. So you have to have your weight forward. That's it. You have to have your weight forward and drive the club down into the ground. And most people, when they do that, their hands either come back or their weight comes back and the leading edge comes up and blades it. Now, you can kind of flip your hands a little bit if you have a good lie. Like if the ball's sitting in the first cut or it's sitting up, but that technique will not work all the time. And so that's why I prefer and believe that the technique where you have your weight forward, your hands forward, and you drive the club down to the ground will be consistent every time. So lay that club flat, move that ball off your left toe, get that ball off your front left, there you go, and open that face flat and just drive the club down into the ground. The ball will pop up like a gem.
I think I'm a scratch golfer.
Let's go!
I think it makes sense, by the way, that your childhood was spent within 30 yards of a green. My childhood was spent kicking a soccer ball off the side of a house. Worked out for me. It's worked out for you much better. University of Cincinnati, the Bearcats, dude. Oh, this is what they send probably to the NFL in Cincinnati. Let's go, dude. Let's go, bro. Full kit. Hey, we got a jacket in here? Sleeveless? No. No, short sleeve. Hey, thank you, Cincinnati. This is fucking awesome. Oh, yeah, look.
Oh, that's sick.
Hey, shout out Cincy, dude. Hey, let's go Bearcats, huh? Let's go win this whole thing. Nobody expects us to. Got in the Big 12 a couple years, obviously that'll be a different time, but right now we're in a Power 5 school. We're gonna fucking go just like we won in Notre Dame and beat the fuck out of Brian Kelly. That's sweet.
Oh, jeez.
I got stickers now, so literally I'm everywhere, says Mac Miller. Cincinnati's about to be everywhere, dude. All right.
For these guys, it's showtime on the Pat McAfee Show.
Welcome back to that show. Do you know what's spookier than seeing a black cat on Halloween?
What's that?
It's shaving your balls with anything other than manscaped.
Yeah, that's true.
Spooky, dude. You know what I mean? Boo!
Oh,
Oh, there's another Nick.
Oh no!
Oh, boo! Trick or treat! Oh,
I'm bleeding.
Boo. Oh, 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 see! Oh, ow, wow! You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
When it comes to below the waist grooming, there's no need to carve your pumpkins this Halloween because Manscaped is here to upgrade your grooming experience.
Hell yeah!
Have you ever tried to trim your balls and it turned into a Freddy Krueger film?
Yeah, one time.
Tell me about it.
I mean, my nuts basically fell in the toilet.
Well, luckily Manscaped is here to save the day and make sure you're smelling fresh with their new refined body wash. Fellas, the ladies love their signature scent and it will scare away those vampires.
Let's go.
Keep the grooming game going with the Performance Package 4.0. Inside the holy grail of men's grooming items, they've made it easy for you to upgrade your grooming routine. It's a full moon out and the werewolf in your pants is howling. It's time to tackle that problem with the Lawnmower 4.0. Their finely tuned trimmers feature a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is easily the greatest ball and hair trimmer on the planet.
Wow.
Oh, and did we mention this trimmer is waterproof?
What?
Yeah, this trimmer is a shower essential. The Performance Package 4.0 also includes a Weed Whacker, a total game changer to men's hygiene arsenal. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com/Pat. That's 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com/Pat. Say trick or treat to your beautiful new Halloweenie with Manscaped.
See that?
Who writes these?
I think it's a combo of Bruce and Manscaped.
Yeah, the guy who wrote The Alchemist.
It's not Paulo Coelho. It's not Paulo Coelho. Let's get to a phone call here.
Probably Ram Dass.
Hey, Ram Dass, be here now, bruh. What's his most recent book that you're supposed to be reading in the Aaron Rodgers Book Club, AJ?
Or you're supposed to be finishing up his last one, but I don't know. I don't know if
Wow,
this
you don't
Aaron
listen. You don't listen, do
Let's
you?
go to Jake in Pittsburgh on a 5-hour energy phone line. Jake, what's going on, pal? Jesus.
How are you, Pat and the boys and AJ?
Hey, Steelers are back!
Steelers are back! Steelers are going to win the Super Bowl. Yeah, I know that Juju got hurt, and we are definitely going to miss him, but the Steelers are back, baby!
Hey, Jake's pumped up about the Steelers. They look good. I mean, there was a couple ebbs and flows of that game where maybe you thought they were going to lose out of nowhere, but the Steelers might be all the way back. And the big storyline out of them getting their win is that Mike Tomlin said he's looking for a veteran quarterback next year.
Wow.
If Ben Roethlisberger is to move on, allegedly via Jay Glazer, Jay New, Jason Shetler is reporting, Mike Tomlin said that he wants a veteran quarterback for next season. If Ben retires, obviously, that's the biggest news for the Steelers out of the weekend, other than the fact that they might be back and Juju is out for the season. T's and P's, obviously, on his recovery to his shoulder. But Tomlin's saying, I ain't doing no rookie fucking quarterback.
Makes sense if you look at the shitstorm that the rookie quarterback's been this year.
What do you mean? Justin Fields is a baller.
No, they all have been terrible.
Not just any veteran, Pat. He's got his eyes on one guy, and we all know who it is.
Tampering. He's tampering.
He's not tampering.
He's openly tampering.
No, he's not.
It's horseshit.
Nah, he's
Fine
just
him.
talking about, hey, what's good? Good call. All right. Hour 3's on the other side with more calls. See ya. See ya, dude. Distraction this weekend in your hometown, the town that you live at, a bar I assume you frequent. Now, there's another angle coming out where Urban Meyer allegedly stuck his 2 fingers into the butt of a young co-ed on wearing jeans. AJ, as somebody that lives in Columbus, Ohio, the alternate
Does
angle.
this video show that exact?
Yeah.
Oh,
The alternate angle is damning.
I've seen them all. I know.
Urban Meyer sticks a finger gun into butthole of lady who was once seen dancing on her wearing jeans. Is this a normal thing that happens in Columbus, Ohio? Is this expected? And what happened, do you think? Have you been at that bar?
I mean, yeah, I think he was at his place, Urban Meyer's Pint House, right? It's his own restaurant. And then what he said in his press conference, a group next door wanted some pictures, so he went there, and he should have got out of there when they tried to pull him on the dance floor, right?
Yeah, the group that was next to us wanted some pictures.
What?
And then they wanted some tequila. We have the best tequila in town.
What?
And then we had some cocktails.
What?
We had some spirited conversation about the Buckeyes.
What?
And then we went to the dance floor.
What?
I shouldn't have went to the dance floor.
What?
Once you get to the dance floor, one thing becomes another thing, which ends with 2 fingers in the butthole, it appears, of a young co-ed, and this is obviously a distraction for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we T's and P's towards everybody down there. Obviously not fun, not cool, but, you know, alcohol will do something to you every once in a while, get you feeling a little freaky out there, especially in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, I'm also, like, no one's talking about it. I'm worried about Urban's health. I mean, like, people talk about his heart, but he has 2 collapsed testicles from coming in his pants so hard
That's
from,
true.
Sticking his fingers up that girl's butt. So I just hope Urban's doing well. I know it was a tough weekend. So ice those balls down, Urban.
Ice them down.
I mean, do you think he's put it in the past? Is he past this now? Is everyone going to forget about it?
I'm sure.
He addressed it.
It's definitely a spank bank.
I think so. I think we're all past it, man.
Oh, boy.
And the first video came out was from an account called Uh-Oh Urban.
Yeah.
This
Oh, really?
guy
Did
is
they make an account just for that?
I don't know. I don't know if this is a regular thing from this particular account. I stumbled upon it just this week, and I think as all of us did. And then that video got taken down. And I wondered how. What was the go about? Did they have to look at surveillance? Who was sitting at this point? We got to get this thing going. But alternate angles are now coming, and obviously Urban, and I assume his team is, his team's probably, hey, you're all right, man. You don't have to worry about us, by the way. Seems like you're probably going to have some other conversations, but let's go win some games out there, Coach. Let's go ahead and do that. But God damn, Whoa, what a moment.
Yeah.
All right, we covered it. We addressed it. We had to.
Well, but now they're in a deep dive for ass and titties on Snapchat because that is the one who put out the video of him finger banging.
The alternate angle.
The alternate angle.
Great
yes.
journalist.
All right.
Should we just make it real? Should we just say, hey, we're done, we're riding off into the sunset? I mean, do you want it to be live on your show that Vinny's officially done? Is that what you want?
I don't want that, but if it's going to happen, happy it's happening.
Yeah.
I would like that to be known. So don't feel obligated. Don't feel forced.
Put it this way. Hey, let me see. Today is what, Wednesday. By Friday, if paperwork goes in, you heard it here first.
First of all, congratulations on a legendary fucking career, dude. In a game that revolves around the score, okay? That's how they pick winners and losers, is in a game in which they keep score. To be the all-time leading scorer in scoring sport, I think many would say, hell of a fucking job. Yeah! Unbelievable. South Dakota kid, you didn't have an easy way either. You went over to Virginia to train. You're a high school teacher, I think, or a substitute teacher. Then you go to the World League over in Amsterdam. Somehow survived the off-the-field activities that you could have fallen into. Stayed focused on kicking. Go into New England. Beat out Matt Barr at some point, even though he had an incredible career. Win Super Bowls. Memorable moments. Biggest moments in the sports history revolve around your foot in a lot of cases. Congratulations, man. You're the fucking best. I was honored to be your team. Yeah. The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to this show. It is Overreaction Monday, October 11th already. Wow. Week 5 ends tonight. Oh. And hour 3 begins now. Shout out to Dahn for that beat drop. Sitting next to me in his attic is a man who's a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup champion, an all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hall.
Baby!
Talks the table, boss of Connor, Ty Schmidt, Tone Diggs, host of Hammer, Dahn, and everybody in the back. We can't thank you enough for joining us on this beautiful Overreaction Monday. AJ, there seems to be a little bit of a conversation happening on the internet. Odell Beckham Jr. is trending. Now, when Odell Beckham Jr. is trending, what is it normally? Well, he either did something incredibly cool, like gave hundreds of thousands of dollars donated somewhere, or maybe created a brand new shoe or something awesome, like did something really cool. He had a spectacular play, because it seems like he makes a lot of those whenever he's on the field. Or there's a conversation that he wants out of wherever he's at, and there needs to be teams trying to trade for him immediately. I think he is potentially trending, because I did see him make a big-time play, I think, yesterday. And then also, I think everybody's talking about him and Baker potentially not getting along anymore. Why does this always happen? Why is this surround Baker Mayfield? Is it because Diggs just told me that some people on the internet, himself is included, saw there was a situation on the sideline where Baker was talking to his wide receivers and it seemed like Odell was either distant or disconnected to it? That's just going to happen when you're a superstar like Odell Beckham Jr., you think? Or is that because Baker and he are superstars? Or why is this a conversation that always happens, it feels like?
I mean, I guess just because there's not a whole lot of players, especially receivers, that are such like polarizing superstars like Odell. Like, dude, if people think about Odell, especially when he was in New York, the dude transcended every sport. Don't you think he was not just a football player? That dude, like, people that didn't know football knew who Odell Beckham Jr. was. So
it was.
I feel like
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, the catch obviously put him on the map right there. I've said before, every one-handed catch that any kid ever makes, they call themselves Odell now, and that's just how it's going to be for a while, I guess. But I mean, you're always going to have this, and you have a dude like that that's such a superstar, and he hasn't gotten as many balls or as many targets as you think. And I know, was it last week where Baker missed him? He had a nice one down. He would have scored for sure, and he just missed him.
Yeah.
Stuff like that happens. It's got to be tough, man, to be both in Baker's spot and Odell, because Odell's getting asked about it all the time. Like, oh, aren't you? I'm sure they're saying, well, how do you not get so frustrated? You're not getting the balls you want. You're not getting the numbers you need. And then Baker's probably at times like, man, I got a lot of talent. I got to find a way to spread the ball around. I can't be zeroing in on one person.
No, and I understand where Baker's coming from, but not is it only that Odell has to answer those questions. Odell can't even get like genuinely upset about something, you know? He's one of the most elite athletes we've ever seen. He's obviously very competitive. You have to be to focus on training as much as he has to get to where he is. And he knows that if he even goes like motherfucker, like something like that, it's immediately, boom, Odell Beckham Jr. hates Baker Mayfield. He hates Cleveland. He hates the Browns. He wants out of here. And by the time he wakes up the next morning, the dog pounders say, get him the fuck out of here. We don't want him here if he doesn't want to be here. Just because of a moment where he could potentially be pissed off because the production did not happen. A successful thing didn't happen. So I assume he knows that. That would be annoying to me. You know what I mean? Like, if the thought was always that I wanted to go somewhere else, he said he wanted to be a Brown, I think a lot. I want to win as a Brown. I want to be a Brown. He went down to Camp Mayfield, that whole thing. But some reason it always is a conversation. If he shows any emotion at all, it's immediately, oh, he hates the place. And then the place, naturally, especially a place like Cleveland, could potentially turn on you if it comes out that you don't like it, you're showing that you're mad. It's like, that would be annoying as well if I'm Odell, you know?
Oh, it's got to be annoying, but he knows like he's that good. He's put so much on film that people are just blown away by that. Yeah, he's going to have to deal with that. I'm sure he gets it. But what happens when Landry comes back? Does it get better?
Well, that's the thing, and if Jarvis Landry gets upset, he loves the Browns. He's a pillar of the Browns. If Odell gets upset, oh, he wants to be traded from the Browns. He wants out of the Browns. I think it's because he's that big of an international superstar. Like, he's a global star.
Yeah.
Odell,
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
OBJ is a global star. I don't know if all the people that potentially hate Odell Beckham know any idea about what he has done, how he does, and who he is, like, on the internet and everywhere else. I don't think a lot of people know about that, but it does seem like it follows him around, that he's not happy wherever he is. But I think, and I'm assuming Stefanski knows this and Baker knows this, if we get more production with Odell Beckham Jr., our team will only get better. Our team will only get better if we can figure out how to make it work with him, if I can hit him. Now, obviously, Baker's going through a lot of shoulder pain. He had a bad week, and they say that Baker, after a bad week, will always bounce back and have an incredible game, which he did against the Chargers. But Odell Beckham Jr. is trending, and anytime that happens, it can only be for a few things. The Chargers fans are saying they're not getting enough love after the ass beating. Everything's like, oh, Odell wants traded, blah, blah, blah. The Browns are the first team in 402 games to lose after scoring 40 and not having a turnover. Everybody's talking about that. The Chargers are like, wait a fucking second, dude. We just had a hell of a goddamn football game over here. Everybody get off our ass.
What Chargers fans?
Whoa. I will say the Chargers fans seem to be louder on the internet, and I appreciate their community on the internet. I enjoy their community on the internet because they get very active when any Chargers fan comes on, or Chargers player comes on this show. They send us genuine thanks, I think, the Chargers people do. So I appreciate the Chargers fan base a lot, but those stadiums are being filled up by the other team's fans for sure.
Yes. Oh, yeah, big time.
For sure.
My brother-in-law has season tickets. He said every game it's been at least like 60 to 70% the other team teams' fans, and that you look at the Rams games, and it's like predominantly Rams fans at those.
Yeah, and even Braun was there, who goes to the Rams games, and he was there for the Browns.
That's right.
Yeah.
And when they play,
I thought he was a Cowboys fan.
No, well, he's a Cowboys fan. He also liked the Rams. I think he likes the Rams. Him and Magic Johnson were cheering on the Rams or whatever.
Okay.
Matthew Stafford's in the building, and then yesterday it was the Browns because he's just a kid from
Cleveland guy.
Yeah, he was a Browns guy with Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, he also, I think he likes Baker too. Hey, come
Yeah,
on, Baker.
yeah.
loves Baker,
Oh,
loves
Baker,
Odell.
win. Let's go.
Come on. When they play Vegas too, you got to assume just like it was before. There's going to be a lot of Raiders fans in there.
So just talking about the Raiders stadium, how's that been doing? Mostly Raiders?
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
That's amazing. So I was completely wrong on that. And I would like to apologize to Raiders fans who told me I was completely wrong on that. I assumed once a lot of the licenses to the seats got bought up by casinos, that was going to be a lot of out-of-towners making Vegas a trip and then also seeing their team staying at the casino doing that whole thing. I assumed it would be a lot of away fans. That has not been the case here, huh? We don't think?
When they show the crowd, when you hear the crowd, like it looks majority Raiders fan. I assume that is a destination though for other teams to go to. Like if they're, like I know a lot of friends like they check the Steelers' schedule and they're like, we're going to that game this year.
Vegas.
Like yeah, that'll be a thing.
In Los Angeles, same thing for a lot of the
Yeah.
teams playing Chargers probably. And I would assume the tickets are much different. Like, all right, we'll go to L.A., we'll go check out, maybe even stop at Vegas on our way over, on our way back, do what we got to do. Speaking of Vegas, how about fucking Tyson Fury hitting the clubs after that?
Legend.
That is unbelievable. Him singing, and not just hitting the clubs, like not sitting on a couch in the back. No, he's up in the front, obviously, living as he should be. You don't get a lot of those moments, especially after a fight like that. But I can't believe he survived. He is a never-ending, just savage of a human. I'm a big Tyson Fury fan. Everybody told me in the boxing community, Deontay Wilder got embarrassed that last one. He ain't going to let that happen again. He added some weight so he could carry Tyson Fury's thing. Now, why didn't anybody tell me, like, no, you just learned of Tyson Fury in his last fight against Deontay Wilder, and you saw him down at the WWE, looked like he was having a good time. This guy is just a fucking awesome savage of a person.
Yeah.
He is so good. The power that he was able to generate from just right here. Look at him. Shadow boxing in Vegas, shirtless. Who's that? Aoki?
Yeah, Steve Aoki.
Yeah. Aoki.
Can he throw cake anymore? Did he get to do that?
Hey, that flat sheet cake toss is unbelievable. I've seen a couple of the internets. He takes it on the road, to a couple of festivals or whatever, and he's only throwing those things like 2-3 feet, and he's hitting in there going crazy. Once he starts getting in those big-time festivals and at his own club in Vegas, he will huck one of those flat sheet cakes that has to be 2 yards by probably two, maybe 3 by 2 yards.
Diesel.
And he hucks it. He is lasered in with those cakes.
Oh, yeah.
Accurate.
He was in Indy Friday night hucking cakes.
Indianapolis?
Aoki.
He was in Indianapolis?
Yeah.
On
Where?
Friday night?
So?
What for?
And then on Saturday, he's with Tyson Fury?
I think so.
Wow.
Those guys are awesome.
Aoki.
Hey, he's still doing it.
Oh,
Yeah.
tossing cakes, dude. When do you learn of that ability and skill, and then when do you say, "Yeah, I'm gonna throw 6 of these a night"?
Yeah, we're ready.
How does it start? Like, how did it start? How did it become a thing?
I don't know. I would assume he's throwing something flat, right? Something
Yeah,
flat.
like a pie.
Maybe like a pie or something.
Yeah,
It's like
something.
Stone Cold with the beers. Like he told
What?
me, like he's like, I don't know how the beers got introduced, but yeah.
Yeah, but Stone Cold's incredible ability was it seemed like he didn't drop a beer for 10 years. He never dropped it. He would be yelling, he'd be walking, he'd be climbing, he'd be drunk, and he was just snagging these things. And this was pre-internet time, so I don't think enough people respected it. And maybe my memory is wrong. He has since dropped a couple, but that was what this dude does with cakes. I mean, somebody asked
His
him.
accuracy is through the
Fucking
roof.
unbelievable.
That's insane.
He's a lefty too, right? Yeah, he's a southpaw, so that thing's coming out lefty there. So you're gonna have to fix the right tackle's position a little bit.
Got the weird spin on it. It really throws people for a loop.
It's unbelievable. All right, let's hit some overreactions from around the internet, AJ, here on this hashtag PMS Overreaction Monday. Put out the bird call this morning saying, hey, it's that time of week that we all look forward to where you can just say absolutely absurd things and everybody understands, it's Overreaction Monday. Go ahead and let it all out. We did. We got up to number 5, number 4 trend in the United States this morning. Thank you all so much. It's much easier to go through that whenever you use a hashtag. The fact that it trends, we are eternally grateful for. What a fucking joke of a life. But we thank you for it. It is amazing, and we can't thank you enough. Let's dive into them. Ty Schmidt was the one that scoured the trend for hours and hours, early in the trend, late in the trend, last-minute tweets, beginning tweets. Ty went through there. This is his
I'm surprised. I'm surprised it's the one Ty pulled first.
This is his work of art.
Didn't pull this one first. But.
At Snide Man Cometh MDS3. I don't want to overreact, but I think Big Ben reactivated his Brazzers account. That arm is alive and well with the 50-yard TD bomb to Deontay early. Hashtag PMS Overreaction Monday.
Wow.
He's not wrong.
Back-to-back weeks to
not wrong.
Deontay.
Yeah, first quarter, too, there. That last
First drive.
week when we couldn't even watch big ball, too. And he was getting hit, by the way, whenever he did. Tom Brady had another one. Tom Brady had one to Evans, I think, where he was getting hit. Unbelievable ball. Ben Roethlisberger as well. And maybe it is the Brazzers.
We don't care. Do you care about the process and when he gets there? No, we just care that he plays well and that they win games. Right?
Yeah, don't tell me how the sausage is made. Just put the son of a bitch on some mustard. You know what I mean?
I do follow their stock, and the last 7 days they are up 37%. So Ben is probably back if I had to put those two.
Wow. Well, the prescription was a subscription for Ben, and maybe that is what got the Steelers all the way back. I'm not sure if old Snide Man Cometh is right or not, but we appreciate that. Overreaction on this Monday.
I heard Dane say a similar thing today on Get Up.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah, that seems to be something.
He wasn't calling for everyone's job again?
Easy. Dan's our friend.
Yeah, we like O'Shaughnessy.
Well, you comment my quarterback, you're not my friend anymore.
But you're right. He all right. He did start attacking almost everybody. I wonder if that's just going to be his new thing, because last year it was everybody was MVP. Remember, that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
First couple weeks, he was just naming everybody the MVP after a good performance, and then he would just kind of disappear from it. Then it would come back as the person performed well through the season. Pretty good strategy, actually.
Yeah.
We actually kind of complimented on it. Way to go, because you kind of lose the current argument, but then you can go back to your previous argument if it ever comes up at any point. It was a nice little strategy. This year, he did come out guns a-blazing.
Yeah.
Hey, fire him, fire him, fire him, fire him, fire him, fire him. This can't do that. That can't do this. Fire him. He wasn't the only one, by the way. There was a lot of people over there doing it, and it seemed like it became a trend. But let's remember, Coach JB and Dane Orlovsky have made amends, and maybe that will change the way Dan starts calling for everybody's job. But if people stink, somebody's got to call. That was Dan's strategy this year. Let's see how he adapts. Let's continue to overreact, shall we? This is from Eric at EC Lunan, 1985. All right, 2 years older than me. Wow, probably.
Wow.
That's good. Hey, born in the 80s is a good era.
That's what they say.
Great era.
Great era.
I read a good thread about that this weekend.
If you're born in the 80s?
Because you got the best, or you're the only last generation to have both the internet and pre-internet, so you know what hard work is versus, the internet works hard too. You get it.
All right, nailed it. Hey, that was a good thread. The thread was nowhere near as good as your diagnosis.
I'll send it to you.
But that was a good thread. But we do get it.
Thank you, Diggs.
Yeah, because
thank you.
My senior year of high school, at the end of it, is when Facebook was created. Okay? So, like, going into college, I was one of the first years of Facebook and, like, everything, Before that, we were able to go out. Even during Facebook era, everybody didn't have a camera on their phone. So you were still able to go live, and nobody was, it was a much wilder time, I think.
The best years of Facebook. No olds and just tons of bikini shots of girls on vacation.
Hell yeah.
Wow. Facebook changed the game for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Facebook changed the game for a lot of people. Now it's crashing, and people are saying the code's getting deleted.
Whoa.
They still got a poke button.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, they're still poking people?
You can still poke.
Hey, the poke was a fascinating tool.
Hey, does Mitt do young people know what Facebook is? Like, has Mitt ever heard of it? I feel like it's
His
for like my parents.
Right? Your parents probably been on there. I go on there just to look at photos of like Phil's kids. Like Phil's.
I don't really have an account. Like I think I have an account that somebody else set up for me a while ago.
You can't delete your account though. It's like impossible to delete your account. And even the hackers allegedly deleted something and nothing was lost.
Yeah.
What's that, Mitt?
My dad's dinosaur and does not have any social media, but Facebook owns Instagram, and I have one of those, so I think I have a Facebook.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Great answer there. That boy, Mitt.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, let's keep it going here. Eric, who was born in 1985, who got a chance to experience, the world before the current generations were.
Best of both worlds.
Yep.
E. Clunan says, Buffalo Bills are the best team in football and will win the Super Bowl. Josh Allen is the best player in football and will win MVP. He will stack stats the next few months, and Bills will finish 15-2. Bye week, 3 wins, Lombardi Trophy, hashtag PMS Overreaction Monday. Bills Mafia is rolling. Bills Mafia is digging the dildos out of the bottom of the closet and getting them ready for the rough. Bills Mafia should be feeling exactly how they should be feeling right now. That That team is a fucking wagon. Did they peak too early? Who knows? Who cares? They can't control that. I'm excited to see how much better they can get with at least 12 more games under their system. What a team, what a watch, what a game last night for Buffalo.
I mean, I don't think this is too much of an overreaction. You could, if that played out and that happened, and then the Bills do this, and Josh Allen becomes MVP and they win it all, like, okay, yeah, we could have. It's not a crazy take. We understand it's early in the year to think that, but it was also good to see Dawson Knox score that long touchdown too in the game.
Yeah, hey, come on, Knox. Hey! Josh Allen, his first year, great athlete. This kid probably not going to be a good quarterback in the NFL. Second year, great athlete, getting a little bit better at quarterback in the NFL. Third year, holy shit. Who taught you how to play quarterback in the NFL with your incredible athleticism? We find out that they put lasers on him, and he actually didn't have his arm and his hip timed up together. For golfers, his hands were in front of the club or whatever the case was. So he was literally making these 70-yard throws, 75-yard throws with just his arm, just a flick. They were able to dial it in, get his entire body in tune. That made him more accurate. They bring in Stephon Diggs. Now he's incredibly paid. He's a weapon. He's running ISOs, he's running powers, he's throwing the ball deep. He's a stud. Who would have guessed it that first year where he was jumping over people, almost getting helmets to the balls, and that was the most electrifying thing because he couldn't complete a pass. Josh Allen is an absolutely beautiful picture of patience, letting somebody develop, and a team believing in him, and I hope it pays off because I don't know if that's going to be something that a lot of teams will be able to do in the future.
Well, don't you think he has unique arm talent that doesn't come around very often, and also his athleticism? Like, he jumped over another dude yesterday to convert a big third down, I feel like. So the guy is just it was a great draft pick, and I feel like early on they weren't really sure, like, oh, this guy's ceiling is off the charts. Like, he could be unbelievable. We're not really sure if we can hone it in, if we can dial it back a little bit. You guys, Steelers guys, what was it Neil O'Donnell, monster arm, right? Everyone always talks about how powerful his arm was. And then I don't know if he ever really felt like he could hone it in and dial it in to have the touch passes as well as those deep balls.
I don't know if Neil O'Donnell, who threw 14 interceptions in the Super Bowl against the Cowboys, is a name that Steelers fans would
strong
like to
arm,
hear.
though. Very strong arm.
There's a lot of people that think that particular Irishman
was paid off.
Really?
Pittsburgh. I mean, that's just Pittsburgh. Neil O'Donnell does not deserve
He threw the game. He's thrown it to Larry Brown.
Twice. I'm just saying, I don't know if Neil O'Donnell knows this, but this is how some Yinzers, not all Yinzers, but some Yinzers absolutely view him. So you tying in Neil O'Donnell to this conversation, quite a fascinating move by the Toxic Hawk, but
I had no idea how many interceptions he may have thrown in the Super Bowl. Sorry.
Twice.
What year was that?
95, I believe.
Yeah, it was a big one because it's Cowboys Steelers, I think.
I wore one of those little kid costumes they make, football player costumes, just the generic ones, to school one time. Sure. It happened to have Neil O'Donnell's number on it. It was a Steelers uniform. I got booed by the class.
But our particular school district doesn't play those fucking games, though. You know what I mean? Like, even in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, we know, like, hey, we ain't with the shits, pal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So Nick had to learn that lesson early. And that's probably why Nick is the way he is, now that I think about it. But that was a real thing because Neil O'Donnell. And, by the way, thanks for all the great times, too, Neil. I saw my dad happy because of the things that you did. Just so happens to be the most miserable he was also because of you. And I want to let you know, Neil, I've been in that position. You should see how they view me in West Virginia, dude. It is not great, Neil. It's not fantastic. But anyways, yeah, Josh became very, very, very good. And I'm incredibly happy for him. Incredibly happy for him. He is a tight end, though. Like, he is built like a tight end.
Huge.
He is a monster, and he hit a golf ball down at that Top Golf thing. Not good enough to win the thing. He actually came in second or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. But he tried to hit a golf ball out of that Top Golf. Massive athlete. Excited for him. Let's go to the next overreaction. Ray Roberts at... Who is Ray Roberts? We're asking the same thing, Ray.
Yeah, who is he?
Who is Ray? Old double R. Old Ray Bob. You know what I mean?
Ray Bob? Sounds like a good guy.
Hey, Ray Bob's ain't bad. Joe Burrow needs to get out of Cincinnati before they kill him. Or he kills himself trying to get away from them, trying to kill him. Hashtag PMS Overreaction Monday. Hashtag non-overreaction, though, Ray Roberts. Shout out to Ray. Hey, this is fascinating because as I was watching him try to kill himself yesterday, I said, oh, Joey Burrow, watching Carson Wentz, and says, I want to play like that guy. That dive, head first, twisty McTwisting, head off of turf, Dahn, out, basically uncomfortable to watch, especially to your franchise quarterback. And then his ass goes back in and throws a dime 5 minutes and 5 seconds later to the time we thought he was going to get wheeled off the field, he comes back in and throws a dime to Jamar Chase. I have the utmost respect for Ohio dude Joey Burrow. I have the utmost respect for the bond that he and Jamar Chase have built. What I don't like, if I'm a Bengals fan, is Joe Burrow doesn't know he can fucking die out there. He has no idea that death is an outcome. He got hurt last year, thought that was maybe going to slow him down. Joey Burrow don't care. No play left behind for this guy, and I don't know how much Cincinnati can protect him because I think he has the Carson Wentz-like play where it's like, hey, I'm going to go Andrew Luck. Hey, there's no play that is a dead play. There is, if I have Jamar Chase out there who flies around who I like, I can get it done. And in a lot of those situations, you're going to get fucking murdered. And they said he likes that. He enjoys that. It's like, well, you have no indoor practice facility. They got no podium. And they got a quarterback who has no worries at all when he's on the field. He is a stud. I hope he survives, AJ. I honestly do. He is an absolute stud to watch on the football field. Got everything. He's out of the hospital, thank God. But, man, what a maniac out there.
I think he's in the perfect spot for him. I mean, there's a lot of hope in Cincinnati, and people take the Bengals somewhat seriously now because Joe Burrow is there. And I think he just, like his overall toughness, his leadership is gigantic for the whole organization, for everybody. I think Jamar Chase is awesome. So, great spot. I think eventually he'll naturally just, no matter how much people tell him to get down and to protect yourself, that's not going to do it. He's going to have to, something's going to happen where as he's going on in the league, he's going to realize at some point, okay, I'm going to be smart every once. I'm going to pick my spots where I do take those chances and dive head first and do these things.
Probably did a McTwisty in the alumni section of the field. I mean, there's no reason. There's no reason at all. I appreciate it. I respect it. I think he's so good. But he was on the list of people that we were saying, hey, watching these, we need to enjoy every play we got with these guys. Because it feels like their style of play is just not sustainable. And Joey Burrow happens to be one of those guys. I think he's so tough, too tough. Just like Christian McCaffrey, just like Carson.
That's right.
Just like these guys who are so good, but it's like, hey, there's grown-ass men out here now. There's other guys that are only training to hurt people. Oh, let me make my traps bigger and my neck bigger so I can use my helmet as a weapon harder to fucking hurt somebody. That's what people do for a living. This is one of them. That is literally what he did. Look at his nose. That thing is almost depleted because he banged his helmet so hard into people. It smashed the brim of his nose down to his mouth. That is what he tried to do. Like it's a different world in the NFL.
But you can't. But to Joe's credit, and to I guess if you want some optimism, you can't hit quarterbacks like you used to be able to hit them. You used to be able to absolutely massacre these guys, and it was part of your game plan was, hey, when you get to the quarterback, even if he gets rid of the ball, you land on him. You land on him with all of your body weight because he's going to feel that. It's eventually going to come back and hopefully slow him down as the game goes. Now you can't land on anybody. He's taking huge shots, but if he can find a way to stay in the pocket a little bit, and hopefully they protect him.
Hey, listen, I understand that used to be the way it was, and I appreciate that they are changing the rules to make it not like that anymore because the quarterbacks are the game. I think everybody knows it. Defense knows it. Special teams knows it. Everybody knows the quarterbacks are the games. But there is still hits in a football game that happen. And if they happen to your key guy, and your key guy goes out, it's like, goddamn, our entire team is much worse now. So that's a real conversation that has to be had. And I'm not saying Joey Burrow's at the Andrew Luck point, but like Andrew Luck, it was to the point where somebody, I don't know, a family member or a friend had to be like, hey, listen, you need to, and I think he did start to evolve, by the way. I think he started to change there towards the end of his career. He started doing that. I just hope Joey, that hit he took yesterday was fucking huge.
Well, and I don't know if they ever confirmed it, but the throat contusion, they called several 4th and 3, 4th and 4 QB draws for him, and he's not sliding. He was getting fucking smacked on those.
He's
plays.
an animal.
He is.
Yeah. He's an absolute animal. He's like the perfect Ohio guy, though, right? This is like.
Yeah, he's from Ohio. He's a tough kid. Hey, he has the physical tools, and he's an absolute just stud of a leader too. That I feel like that whole team, even the coaching staff, looks to for guidance. Like, hey, we got Joe, we're good. We're in any game we have.
Yeah, it's almost that mic'd up of him just put the ball in my hands, dude. Him saying that publicly, like out loud, because not only are you saying that to yourself to hype yourself up, but you're also telling other people because now you feel obligated to back it up. You know, like you saying that, people say you can't speak things into existence. It's like, well, I think whenever you put it out there, there's a lot of rules on how the universe reacts to positive vibes and blah, blah, blah. There's all these documentaries if you want to smoke massive amounts of San Jose.
You talking about The Secret? The book, The Secret?
Yeah, it's a documentary too. But whenever you put something out publicly, you're also forcing yourself to back it up or everybody will view you as a way.
You hold yourself accountable. If you put it out there, it's like if someone says they go on their social media and they, hey, I'm going to lose 30 pounds before January 1st, they do it because they put it out there. Like, that's the only way I'm going to hold myself accountable.
Yeah, and sometimes that's how you have to operate. But the fact that Joey Burrow was like, just put the ball in my hands, it's no big deal. I'm upset to tell you that, no, I'm not. I'm actually pretty happy. Rap Sheet's reporting that Bengals star quarterback Joe Burrow, who visited a local hospital last night after a potential throat contusion, checked out fine and should be okay. Source said he was released from the hospital last night. That's good news, all right?
Here you go, Joe.
What's a throat contusion?
Bad. Can't feel good. How's he talking this week?
Bad bruise.
Oh, yeah. It's like a Nigerian nail. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like what Aziz is going to do to AJ when he sees him.
It's like a Commander Aziz Nigerian nail to the larynx?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's lucky that's all it was.
Bruce threat.
That's tough, dude. Hope he's okay.
Let's see what he sounds like when he goes to that makeshift podium and talks to the media.
What if he sounds like Mahomes all of a sudden? Just like the same exact voice as Patrick Mahomes. Everybody's going to be like, Pat, did you?
Morgan Freeman now.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah, what if he does?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, what if he just has somebody polar up? That would be awesome.
Picks up a bunch of good voiceover work, too. Makes a bunch of money off the field.
I bet you it's going to be, what, super gravelly, Donner?
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking more like Vontae Davis. The opposite.
dog.
Yeah.
Hey, dog, listen, I got my larynx bruised, dog. Bruised. This is a young man game. Vontae is traveling the world living his life.
Yeah.
I follow Vontae Davis on Instagram. He has hit every continent in the last, I think, 2 months. It's awesome.
During COVID? That's awesome. How does he do it?
I have no idea. I saw him with I think he was on an elephant in the safari 2 days ago.
Jeez.
I'm like, where the fuck?
What are you doing?
Good for you, dude. Good for you. In the middle of that game, whenever he decided it was a young man's game, this ain't for me no more. He's getting beat. I should not go out there. I think in the back of his mind, he was like, me and my wife already have like 75 vacation set up. I need to go do that right now. He's awesome. He's incredible. It could change his voice, I guess. They said he lost his voice yesterday. That's how they thought it happened or whatever. Hopefully he'll be okay. How about the Packers getting that win, AJ? What are your thoughts on Mason Crosby? What a guy. Mixed emotions, I assume, on that plane. I don't know if he's a boozer or if the Packers allow booze on the plane. It's not that long of a flight since he back to Green Bay. But I assume that was a mixed emotions evening for Mason Crosby, who inevitably hits a 49-yard game winner, which is a big ball. That's not a layup at all. That's a big ball. But obviously he had some battles with the wind and some misses earlier. He's probably very happy to be past it. It ended with a happy moment. But where do you think Mason Crosby's sitting at right now as a guy who's been a friend of his for a while?
I would imagine Mason's probably relieved. Like, okay, that's basically the worst that could happen happened, and we found a way. We still won the game. Luckily, the Bengals kicker missed as well, although I don't know if Huber thought he made it or not, or Huber was just kind of going with it to try to entertain him. Like, okay, yeah, okay.
Okay, so
you missed, but.
you and me both love Huber. I think that is why this is a big deal.
Huber's the man. Huber's awesome.
Kevin Huber is awesome. He's been through the office. I've gotten a chance to know him. He kicked at Cincinnati while I was at West Virginia, Big East. I've known him a long time. He's been punting since he was like 14, 13. Literally has been crafted to be an incredible punter in the NFL for the Cincinnati Bengals since he was a child in Cincinnati. Like, that is legitimately the case. When I saw him celebrating, I was like, oh no, because
he was kind of like half. I think he wasn't really sure, but I think he was probably like, all right, yeah, I'm going to go with it, but you probably missed, but I don't want to like shut you down yet.
Well, and then Clark, obviously legendary long snapper who got some airtime with his hair.
I'm glad Clark got some good pub online from his picture.
By the way, he is a bigger legend than he even looks. In real life, he is a bigger legend than how he looked on that picture. He probably looking at Huber like, did this go in or not? This fucking young kid's losing his mind. That moment is wild. Because the holder, I told Chris Long this. I was on his podcast last night. It debuted today, I think, the Green Light podcast or something like that. He texted.
Did he tint you a shade of red?
He didn't. He actually asked, because he said it was audio only. He said it was audio only. And so I just went down into my theater and did the conversation or whatever, and I had no lights on or anything. I was on cloud 70. He asked me like an hour before then if I wanted to come on. I was planning on being in bed probably by that time. So I did the whole conversation with him. He sent me a text. He said, is it okay if we tweet this video? You do have a little hue of red on you. I didn't know if he was fucking with me or if he was not, but it was a great time. I forget. What were we talking about? We were just about to dive into something. Me and Chris Long were talking about it.
Something about Clark?
Oh, the holder.
The holder. Oh, yeah, the holder, yeah. So I knew the kick would be good before anybody else, the Vinatieri kick. Literally, whenever Vinatieri was kicking, I knew it was going to be right. Jim Irsay actually said that he watched me for field goals before anybody else whenever he was at stadiums because he noticed that because I'd get so excited. You know, I was like, here we go, yeah. And it was as soon as he kicked it, I could normally tell from the holder's position. So when Huber thought that it went in, that's when I was so mystified. But what you're saying is Hubert was fucking with McPherson.
I don't know if he was messing with him. I think he was probably like 50-50. He probably saw that he thought it missed, but then he saw how happy the kicker was. Like, okay, maybe he made it. Maybe we won the game. I don't know what's happening here.
Hey, we didn't talk about it. Do you know Chris Long's co-host, Macon? This guy Macon?
No, I don't think so.
Macon's his co-host. I think they were friends growing up in Virginia. He's a real estate guy, old Macon. Literally all I wanted to do was talk to Macon and ask him about how he's doing real estate and podcasting with Chris Long. That's a pretty cool thing. It was an enjoyable conversation. You ever been on the Green Light Pod?
No, I don't think I have, actually.
Oh, you got beef with Chris Long? You and Chris Long don't like each other?
Wow. I don't know. I'm great with Chris Long. Chris and his brother Kyle, I like them both a lot.
Me too. Wow. Anybody hear anything from Kyle? What's going on with Kyle? I forgot to ask that last night too, Chris. Kyle should be healthy sometime soon, right?
Hopefully. I thought they said he was going to miss at least like the first 8 weeks.
Oh, really? Was it longer than that?
Yeah, I think so, but I don't know. Because remember, Rappaport was acting like he wasn't even going to make the team anymore because it was so serious.
They were talking about that rookie last night or whatever who's actually playing really well for the mid-card.
Yeah, and then because they got Tooney, right? They got that rookie.
Tardisat.
Orlando Brown.
Yeah, how about Dr. Tavernet? He's not in.
No.
Nope.
What's his name?
Not bad.
Laurent Duvernay.
Duvernay Tardif.
There it is.
Tavernet, you said?
Bro, I said something and Ty looks at me with big eyes. I was like, what?
Hey, have you ever thought a kick went in and it didn't?
Normally when it's over. So there was one in West Virginia, right?
Hey, what's the rule? What's the rule for if it goes over top of the upright? Does it have to the whole you have to cross over like a one little speck of the goalpost or what?
So I think the rule is, and I've had a lot of questions as well, is it's supposed to just extend forever. So if it would have bounced in off the thing, I think they're supposed to call it good. If it would have hit square, they're supposed to call it no good. That's a tough thing. Yeah. That's a tough thing for the refs, especially when you're dizzy. You know, like that is not an easy thing to do. I did it down at the Boca Raton Bowl.
Yep.
I was treating the Boca Raton Bowl like it was a high school alumni game. I was standing underneath the uprights there towards the end, and I actually walked out with the refs onto the field. Looking up is awkward. There has to be a better way. I don't know why they don't just have a camera or a TV that the ref just bends over and looks at and then goes, good, and then just walks away. Because I think the camera angles have a much better view on it, potentially than somebody. Now, I know they're right underneath it, but that is that's not like a comfortable thing to be looking. And what if you are just a little cockeyed? Like, that's not an easy thing. So the over one is always the one that kind of fucked me. In college, I thought I put one over that would have bounced in. They obviously called no good. And I told them to go fuck themselves and all that stuff. But then you'll get one that they call good over, and it's like, okay, I feel like it's never one that hit the flag, though. That one clearly hit the flag, I think, on the first go around. You know what I mean?
Who was it? I don't know. They're watching on the monitor. Who was it? I don't know. 3-4 years ago, that was working a college
Jay
game.
Feely. Yeah, let's
called
get to
a kick
break.
good, and it took him to break, but it wasn't good.
Yeah, we got to get to a break. And the Marshall goes up 10. Yeah.
Oh.
That was Jay Feely. From the angle he was at, by the way, because it's not easy on the side to know if it goes through. There's been a lot of crowds I've kicked in front of from like 70 yards that they still to this day think that thing went through. It did not. That thing was missed to the right or missed to the left. The side's not easy. Some coaches can barely see if it goes through or not. It's put a fucking chip in the ball, dude.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yes.
That would affect kicking, by the way. I'm not for that.
True.
They put a chip in the ball at the Pro Bowl. I tried to punt it. I could feel the fucking thing in the ball with my foot.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, there's something in here.
If they didn't tell you, what did they tell you? The chip was in there?
No, it was a brand new ball. Okay, sign 1. because I'm only kicking beat-up balls in practice normally. They gave me that ball. I kicked it. I could feel it. Yeah, you could feel like there was.
There'll be a chip. There'll be a chip in the ball soon enough. I'm sure that's small enough where no one knows.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that we've evolved tech-wise since then. I mean, that's like 7-8 years ago at this point, where they've been able to fix it. Hopefully, that would make so many things better.
They could put a chip on the ball. It doesn't have to be in the ball. They can like print one thin enough to be on the outside. Of the ball.
Underneath the laces.
Yeah.
Put it right.
Yeah, it's like a logo. It's like another logo.
Yeah.
First down.
Did we just fix it a little bit? Yeah.
Think so.
I mean,
kickers aren't
Who's going to make it?
Huh?
Who's going to make it? Elon Musk?
Elon,
Who do
yep.
you have make that?
No, have the Duke makers make it. And by the way, I'm done with these amateur Bush League footballs too. Have the college kids play with the fucking Duke.
Yeah, it's time.
What are we doing? Have them play with it's the best football. By far the best football. Not even a question. They're similar. It's easy. I assume Wilson can just huck out another, 2,000 of those things they need?
Easy.
What are we doing, AJ?
I agree. Sometimes college teams use these weird, different colored balls that aren't they're like the light brown balls that feel terrible.
GST, the GSTs, and then they have the Nike ones, and they're all fat leathered and they're hard to kick. Every place should be a dome in the NFL, and every ball should be a Wilson.
There it
the
is.
Duke. All right, let's get out of here. We got to get to a break. We have to. This is a hell of an overreaction Monday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because what's going on tonight? Ravens Colts?
Oh, yeah.
We haven't even talked about it yet.
Nope.
Haven't even talked about it, AJ. We're about to get into that on the other side. I hope you have a pick, pal.
Ooh.
Oh, I can't wait. I got a pick. I can't wait to see what your pick is because you have a hard time taking your emotions out of this one.
I don't have a hard time with nothing. I'll see you in 4 minutes. I just saw a picture of you getting out of, I think, a 757 that was from Jim Irsay. What was that, and have you ever been in that plane before?
I thought it was like the team plane to fly all of the Indianapolis Colts. Literally, it's got the logo on it, Pat, and it was awesome. But look, that's just Jim. Pat, I had a wonderful 14 years there. It's obviously the team that I wanted to play for always. I understood the decision he had to make, and no hard feelings, and for him to send his plane to fly me and my son down here, it was a great gesture. A lot of room for me and Marshall. We were throwing the football. Pretty cool experience. Pretty cool father-son weekend.
By the way, as he's moving from event to event right now, you are the best, dude. Where are you headed right now?
I'm going to the game. I got Lynch. I got Faneca. I got these guys in the background.
Boys, congratulations. Yeah. Congratulations, boys. All right, Peyton. Oh, hey, there he is. Marshall, I hope you enjoyed that plane, pal. Hey, Peyton, last thing here. You talking to Tom Brady, you becoming friends with him. It was interesting to watch. Oh, yeah, take the photo. Take the photo. All right, we will wrap this up.
Well, I'll tell you, Pat, I don't think anybody can do what Tom has done. Look, I know how hard it was for me to get on the same page with my receivers, learn a new system, learn new coaches. But I had a full off season. I was injured. I was rehabbing. The fact that Tom has done this in a COVID pandemic off season, no time to meet with his receivers. He met with his coaches illegally by breaking into Byron Leftwich's house. So besides that, it's been incredible what he's been able to accomplish, and he deserves all the credit. His leadership is what's put the Bucs in this game today, and I have great respect for him because I know how hard it is, but he deserves all the credit.
Hey, how did you know Red 18 was coming?
Pat, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you telling that story and just growing the legend. That was about the 18th time I tried it. I was 17 going into that. And, when it doesn't hit, you just keep walking. Nobody ever really tells you about it. So when it hit, I was as surprised as you were. And the reaction from some of the good old folks there in the casino that night was pretty special.
Well, I appreciate you doing that. You made me and those folks in the casino a bunch of money. Congrats on the Hall of Fame nod. Thank you for spending time. Enjoy yourself at the game, Peyton.
Pat, thanks, pal. I appreciate you.
The Sheriff Hall of Famer, Peyton Manning.
the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat.
From the hills of Humboldt County, we have breaking news. Candy Lips is stepping their game up and giving away a UFC prize package from the gods. Win 2 tickets to Usman vs. Covington 2 at Madison Square Garden on November 6th, including airfare and luxury hotel stay.
Wow.
All you need to do is head to CanadipCBD.com.
Southwest.
What's that?
Can continue, my bad.
What's going on? You're saying Southwest had a rough weekend? Why?
I know they canceled a bunch of flights. I don't know why, but I know they're canceling a bunch.
Yeah, there's still people living in the Indianapolis airport because all their flights got canceled.
So invite them over.
The answer is no.
You get a lot of space.
No, their flights are going today.
I'm actually trying to flip my house right now. You know what I mean? Not sell it, but just change it. So I don't have a lot of space. Anyways. Luxury airfare and hotel included.
Nice. Wow. Okay.
You won't be flying on Southwest unless Southwest is the only available flight option. Head to CanadipCBD.com and click on Fight of the Year to enter the promo, and no purchase is necessary. Life is all about good times, and this fight will be legendary. Get out of the house and get to the Big Apple. Head to CanadipCBD.com and click on Fight of the Year. Entry is easy. Just follow the prompts and enter to win. That's right, 2 plane tickets, luxury hotel, and great seats for Usman Covington 2. CanadipCBD.com, and do not miss out. CanadipCBD.com. Winners will be picked October 24th live on the @Canadips Instagram. So you have until October 24th to get to CanadipCBD.com and potentially win luxury airfare and hotel to Usman Covington 2 in Madison Square Garden. Ain't that cool, AJ? You gonna enter or what?
I might have to enter. That'd be a great fight to attend in person, I bet.
I think so too. Just like this Fury Wilder fight. I mean, Fury Wilder, that was the fight of the ages. They're saying 2 heavyweights slugging it out in the 11th round. The Gypsy King. Good boy. Right in there. What a fight. What an awesome thing. I definitely stayed up and watched that whole thing, you know what I mean? And that was awesome. I think we all did. We all loved it. Shout out to the Gypsy King. Sorry about it, Deontay. Hope you come back better and stronger. We have some breaking news on the injury front around the NFL. Adam Schefter is reporting out of the Kansas City Chiefs camp. Chiefs wide receiver Tyreek Hill suffered a minor knee injury last night, and the team does not expect him to miss time, per source. And also, Chiefs running back C.E. Shout out to Tony Romo for creating that. Clyde Edwards-Helaire suffered a sprained MCL last night and is expected to miss a few weeks, per source. The run game is something that they're going to have to continue to build if people are going to continue to drop 7, 8 into coverage against them like the Bills did last night. Darius Butler, host of the Man to Man podcast, expert in the secondary, said not every team's going to be able to do that against the Chiefs. The Bills just had the personnel to do it. I think the Chiefs know that their run game has to continue to grow for their whole offense to get better. CEH being hurt is not great news for I don't want to say wounded Chiefs team, but a Chiefs team that is different than the Chiefs team we have seen over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be gangbusters on the ground, especially when you have Pat Mahomes as your quarterback, but there has to be the threat of run. Like, you have to be able to, every once in a while, pound the ball a little bit and give your offensive linemen a break, too, so they're not just sitting there pass blocking all night long.
And we did not compliment the alien that is Tom Brady enough. He is doing things at this stage of his career after he was run out of New England and said he was too old. Put out on the farm to die.
Yep.
Not true.
That is apparently not true, actually, but that was the story for a long time. Tom Brady, who everybody thought was potentially washed up, is now accomplishing things that he had never accomplished before in his entire career. Throwing for over 400 yards and 5 touchdowns with no interceptions, first time ever. The alien at his oldest age and only getting better and better in that Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense with B.A. at the head coach and a defense that's hungry. Beat the dog shit out of the Dolphins, which I think we all expected on Friday whenever we made our selection. But Tom Brady he's soaring new heights. He's soaring new heights without Gronk somehow. And when you look at that roster, there was a conversation happening during that game when Antonio Brown broke free. He's the third option or whatever. And we're like, they got Antonio Brown as the third option. That's insane. And then Cameron Brate made a big play. It's like, oh yeah, fucking forgot Cameron Brate was there. Then Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones. I mean, everybody just starts going and going. It's like, this team is deep. I can't believe they did lose a game. But the fact that they are only going to get better and better in everybody's eyes, including Tom, should be a nightmare for everybody in the NFC.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I like what Leonard Fournette it can do. Like, just think about trying to tackle the dude, first off. Not fun at all. Or Ronald Jones. Both those guys, very explosive, powerful dudes that can catch the ball out of the backfield, too. So that definitely helps their offense as a whole, and I like their O-line. And it's tough to see anybody kind of slowing Tom and the Bucks down.
Well, any given Sunday, that's what they.
True, yeah.
They say any given Sunday, but 400, 5 tuds.
Do they lose Byron Leftwich after this year, though? Like, will he become a head coach?
That's the thing. Todd Bowles, defense coordinator, they just re-upped him for a bigger deal. Everybody thought that was potentially because if B.A. retires, Todd Bowles becomes the head coach. He's the head coach in waiting. Don't get excited to go anywhere else after more success. Byron Leftwich, he's got to be hot in the streets, right, in the conversation of who's going to be next.
Why would B.A. ever go anywhere as long as Tom is still on the team?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think B.A. plans on it. And remember, B.A. once retired, and in his retirement said that his wife told him it was his son's 40th birthday, and he said, 40 years? I miss so much. And that's not like his 10th birthday or 15th or 20th. We're talking 4 decades on the earth together. And he said, 40, where did the years go? He retired. I think he wanted to do more family time, wanted to be around, tried the TV, said wide ass open. They told him he can't say that anymore. I think he got to experience what life was like away from football. And I think he was very eager to potentially get back. So to your point, why would you leave if you're BA? Your coaching staff, why would any of them leave other than the younger ones who potentially haven't gotten that head coach opportunity or paycheck yet, like I assume Byron Leftwich will in the coming years, to your point?
Yeah, I would imagine, BA has no reason to try to retire or leave there until Tom says, hey, I'm ready to go. And then who knows, maybe BA is trying to groom what his replacement will be, whether that's Byron, Todd Bowles, or somebody else on that staff. We don't know.
Well, and he said we're not going back to back. Fuck that. That's chief shit. We're going for 2. And then I think after this year, if they get 2, he'll kick a field goal.
Yeah, going for 3.
And with 2 safeties.
Are you all right with Rex? Rex was killing said how bad he hates kickers.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sure you saw that.
Yeah, and then he said the only kicker he's ever liked is me. So it's kind of an interesting, it's kind of a mixed emotion situation. Like Mason Crosby was probably feeling on a plane, hit a game winner, but kind of.
You weren't kicking field goals though.
Yeah, but I was a kicker because I kicked off. Never had to kick field goals, thank God, because that's a quick way to get a lot of fans to turn against you. Punter is like the perfect position because the away team loves you. The home team doesn't really like you fans, but if you win them over with hard work or something, they'll love you. You're kind of beloved as a punter, unless you hit shanks.
You can't mess it up too bad.
Yeah, but
can't hit shanks at inopportune times or mess up holds.
To your point, when you got a punter who is very good, it is electrifying, and you cannot wait to get him on the field.
That is true. Torrey Taylor at Iowa.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
He's got the 4th most punts out of everybody in college, all right? Iowa does. So they are punting a lot. It's not like their offense is amazing and he's just kind of a part of it. Torrey Taylor's winning games in the Big Ten for the Iowa Hawkeyes. They're ranked, 3 right now?
2.
2 right now, number 2 overall team. Now, granted, that defense is unbelievable. They get turnovers in abundance. They are Hawks dogs flying around.
Oh, yeah.
But Torrey Taylor pinning them deep. I'll pin them. You boys go get them. It's a nice little tag team between Torrey and that defense. And I know that Iowa loved their punter. A lot of Torrey Taylor for Heisman chatter in my tweets the last couple weeks. Getting a chance to watch him at 4 o'clock against Penn State and do what he did in that big of a game, consider me on board. That dude's a fucking stud.
Yeah, I think he had 6 punts inside the 12, 3 inside the 3. It's wild. I live in a bizarro world. I mean, you got the Packers who have a great offense and their defense and special teams kind of stinks. And then you have Iowa who maybe has the worst offense in the nation and their defense and their special teams is unbelievable.
Torrey Taylor bombs balls, dude, and that defense gets the ball back.
Yeah. Big time.
I mean, they're a greedy defense, AJ.
But it's old school Trestle ball.
Kirk's
right,
dogs,
field
baby.
position.
Trestle Beamer ball, you mean? You're talking Beamer ball?
He's a great coach too, yeah, sure.
Oh, you guys call it Trestle ball over in Ohio. I respect that so much.
Yeah. I think it's probably very regional when it comes to stuff like that.
Whatever the case, good special teams.
What do you mean?
Well, nationally, I mean, I think Beamer ball is more recognized than
Whoa.
Trestle.
Tony. Whoa, what's this shot at Ohio all about?
I don't know. What does Beamer ball mean exactly?
Special teams.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm not talking. I'm talking field position. Yeah, punt is a big play, but defense, field position is Trestle ball.
Complimentary football is Trestle ball. All right, I respect it. I like that. I'd like to be called, by the way, my style of football is smart football. That's probably good for Jim Tressel, if I had to imagine. He's got to feel pretty good about that. Good guy, Tress, by the way. Where's he at?
He's the president of Youngstown State University.
I just go Penguin. Hey! Go Pens. A lot of Italians down there in Youngstown. I like to see how he navigates those waters. Let's go to Jonah in Youngstown, Ohio. Jonah, what's going on, pal?
Here we go.
What'd he do?
You fucking waiting around for your fucking show, huh?
He only opens one box.
He's getting yelled at.
Keep her on. Keep him on. I want to hear what she says.
Can't. It was getting too serious.
Yeah,
There is a
We're
pitch.
about to be accessories to the crime.
No,
jeez.
Tony.
I don't know if it was a crime. It sounded like he left the cereal box open.
I feel like he
Tony.
fucked up there. I don't think there was a crime, but she was hitting a pitch where she was not happy with him.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for us to even be a part of what was going on next for Jonah. Hey, T's and P's of Jonah, you
Good
fucked
luck
up, dude.
Good luck, Jonah.
How do you think it goes now, though? After he's been waiting online for waiting an hour and a half, and now she just ruined it for him.
Oh, yeah,
Think
he's
it's gonna
going to
go well?
explode.
I don't know.
He's going to be very mad at her.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen with Jonah. It seems like he is on the losing end of whatever he tries to do, though. He needs to remember that going into war right now. Let's go to Steve in Florida. What's going on, Steve?
No.
All right, Steve stinks.
Good run.
All right, so we tried the phones, didn't we?
Yeah.
We tried.
Yeah.
But,
Tried.
You know, had the tweet, so.
AJ, Chris Mad Dog Russo, Mad Dog Unleashed is next. What do you think his show's going to have that is much better than ours?
Probably very similar to this show, but he will have his own little spin on it and his overreaction Monday.
I agree. You missed the beat drop there, too. That's fantastic. Remember, Aaron Rodgers Tuesday is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tonight's the Ravens and the Colts. AJ has...
Ravens -7.
All right, I got the over hitting. All right,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
I got the over, and I also
What's your
got the
pick?
Colts in my Jimmy's Famous thing. Chris Mad Dog Russo on the other side of this break. Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, Manana. I picked the over, dude. Sorry about it.
Gotcha. Idiot.
But you don't have to. You can, if you want to turn it. If you want to turn these picks into a mockery, that's fine with me because that's all it is anyway.
Whoa.
Oh, it's a mockery now that you're losing. Isn't it? Oh, dude. Hey, I'm sorry. Let me get my big balls out of your face. Dude, that was a
It's so fun with you and the Bugle Boys behind you. You just sit
All right. Anyways, I got the Ravens. Okay.
there. Oh, you do?
For the sake of our pick, I got the Colts +7. Yeah.
Okay.
But with that being said, if there's a same game parlay that comes out later.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
You never know, though, man. Honestly, you don't know.
We do, yeah.
In this case, when there's so many people, I think Tony said 92% on the Ravens. You almost have
All
to
right, I'm
take
on the Colts +7. If I'm hearing that, me and my 8% crew, dude.
Public had a really good weekend, though.
Oh, shit.
All right.
Nah, Colts.
All right, I'm sticking with the Colts +7 because I need the Colts to win outright, so I don't have to buy, like $5,000 worth of crab cakes from that no good, dirty, rotten Jimmy's Famous seafood.
It's actually at 7 and a hook now. So.
Oh, yeah. Wait for that. I got Colts +7.5. Yeah, you got Colts Ravens -7.5. Woo! Let's go, Carson. Hey, one sprain.
What?
Let's have a night. One sprain. Let's put up a fight.
Yeah.
Are you at all worried that there's the same chance that they're going to win as he will be decapitated on the field tonight?
Well, especially with those amoeba defenses, that Baltimore is going to run. Those amoeba defenses and exotics. Carson Wentz is going to say, who needs to read a defense? I can run through all of them. And that is the difference whenever you got Carson Wentz out there. Monday night, too, he's going to shine. Give me Colts +7.5.
Let's go.
Colts. Go Colts.
Go Colts, baby.
Go Coats.
Go Coach.
Hey, the Kadarius Toney thing. Did you really have that big an issue? I understand. Yeah, okay, selfish, whatever. I feel I'm giving him the credit to where he knew the situation. Game's over. He's killing it. Yeah, he knows he can swing, and yeah, he might get ejected, but he's going to get away with it. It's not going to affect the game. I don't think he would have done that after just if they were going down a tie ball game and they're on a 2-minute drive and he just converted a big first down. I don't think he punches a guy.
I agree. And I don't know how people wear hats all the time. That's one of the most itchy things of all time.
Yeah.
I've been battling this the entire – he had 189 yards or something like that, dude. He's unbelievable. Be who you can afford to be. I mean, a couple weeks ago, sources were saying that he wanted to ball more, and then he came out and said everything's okay. I think that might have been just his friends and family. Like, hey, this team stinks. This guy's really good. Give him the fucking ball more. I like that he has a little bit of fire, a little bit of edge, but I mean, everybody on the team was already out, so he figured, fuck it, me too. I'll go down with him. Everybody's either hurt or out. I'll go down with him.
When? Like, don't you think guys know when they can do that? Like when guys, I remember a practice once in Green Bay. So whenever I get a pick in practice, I would find the quarterback who threw it, and I would fire back at him as I'm running. As I'm running to score, I'd always throw it at him. For some reason, I started that early and kept doing it. So one day, I got a pick. I'm running down the sideline, and the whole offense is coming at me. And as I'm running, I punted that thing. I just punted probably 60 yards. It was a beautiful punt.
Let's go!
And one of my defensive coaches comes to me and freaks out and tells me, first off, he tells, we got to have better ball security. And I'm thinking, okay. Shocking. I punted the ball, returned it. He said, if you do that in a game, that may cost us. And I was like, Coach, do you think I'm going to punt the ball in the middle of a game when I'm returning an interception? Like, no, I understand the situation where we are.
Hey, that was so disrespectful that he thought you were that stupid.
Or he just felt like he had to say something to me, or their Big Mike would be upset. Hey, you can't be letting AJ just punt balls, can you?
No,
maybe
but
that was it.
There's no way Big Mike. We spent the 5th overall pick on this guy. Let's assume he's not going to just punt a ball in the middle of a fucking game. Like, I would have felt like, hey, you actually think that you have to tell me that? Like, hey, fuck off.
Yeah, that's what I was. I'm like, I think we're safe. I don't think I will do this in a game.
I had a consultant to a network tell me that I should go potentially back into kicking on a minor league football thing. He presented that as an idea from a network. That I could go.
Wait, recently?
Yeah, pretty recent.
What do you mean? And they could film it and they could show your journey back?
No, I don't think they were thinking about that. Just being a part of a team that was a part of a potential league. That was maybe going to happen or something like that. I was like, oh, is that right? Okay. Yeah, man, I want to go kick for the F League. Yeah, that's what I would like to do. Go kick for the F League and quit the show. Quit the show.
Yep, you have to.
That's a good idea. This was like hey, let's talk about potential growing relations conversation. And that
network? What network was this?
All right, shut up. I can't do that. Can't do that yet.
Can't say
it's all filmed.
Not yet. One day.
You say it's filmed?
I mean, we have some of the conversations, and we don't know the laws of it, but the documentary, like 10, 15 years from now, hopefully we'll be able to get everybody to okay on it.
Oh, yeah.
Because everything in here is basically being recorded. And if you're having a conversation with a pretty big network and you end up telling them something that's hilarious, you would like to have that on the files forever.
Right. And if you can put them in there, like a recreation, like drunk history of what the conversation would also be hysterical.
Yeah, and we do have it backed up. This particular one, though, was not recorded. It was just a meeting. It was one of those. It was good. It was like 45 minutes of a meeting. That one comment is the only thing I really keep thinking about, though.
Did you say, hey, why don't I smack you in the mouth instead?
No. I did. That's one of the most disrespectful things.
What would that do for him, though? If you punted kicked in some other league, what would that do for him and his relationship with that network?
So let's assume that that network potentially has that
carrying those games.
Yeah. So that was the idea to build to have me punt.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah, for them, I guess it would make sense. For me, it would be like, okay, let me take 7,000 steps backwards. This is a good idea. This is really what I want to do. Yeah, I want to go kick. Not in the NFL, though, by the way. No, don't want to do that. I would rather, let me go do that in a meeting that was to generate ideas. Like, that was awesome. You know what I mean? I didn't want to bring an umbrella to a brainstorm. I brought an umbrella to a brainstorm.
Yes. Can't do that. That's what I was going to say. I didn't know exactly what it was. But yeah, you bring an umbrella to a brainstorm, right?
It did pivot to me potentially owning a team, though, and I like that.
Here we go.
A team? Like, you want to own a team that's not an NFL team?
No, I don't.
Are they profitable?
But it was a brainstorm. I was a part of it. One of the most disrespectful things I've ever heard, maybe quarterback or owner, though. And then the conversation continued to go. He's just a little, though, in the whole conversation. He doesn't know that. He's just a little.
Oh, I think I might know who you're talking about.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, you do.
Yes, I do. I know very well who you're talking about.
All right. That's the show. Hey, it's really cool to be in this position now, though, AJ.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's really nice,
I bet you did not handle that well, especially coming from the person I believe it came from.
No, the other people in the room, we were having a good convo, and then that happened. So that wasn't going to bring it down, So I did a little, okay, all right. And then the conversation just continued, It was pretty good. But it was pretty fucking disrespectful. I mean, all right, bud. Go fuck off. All right? Go fuck off. Yeah, I'll quit the show. All right, yeah. I'll quit doing SmackDown too, I guess.
Sure. Practice.
Yeah, I'll do. That's a good idea, man. Thanks. Sorry, everything isn't working. Thanks. Everything for me is going terribly. So I appreciate the opportunity to potentially compete for a G League football team.
Well, who knows? Maybe you'll end up parlaying that G League, into getting back in the NFL.
True. Man, back in the game.
It's nice of him to give you that lifeline that you needed.
I did say if I'm gonna blow my knee out anywhere, it's gonna be in the NFL. And that got a pretty good pop. I got a pretty good pop from the room, so I felt pretty good about it. I've handled the waters much better than I maybe would have like 6-7 months ago these days with these conversations. There isn't as quick of a fuck off. I mean, a little bit more time now.
You take a few seconds now. You take a few seconds before you respond.
Yeah, I just don't think. I mean, it might change. I mean, there's a lot of big ones coming up here in the next. I mean, I am in a massive meeting lineup right now. And this is not for Overreaction Monday chatter, but it's real life, so we might as well have it documented for whenever inevitably something happens here down the line. Who knows if it's near future or long term or whatever. But I'm in the middle of some hysterical meetings again. Now, they were happening a little bit there earlier. Those kind of fizzled out. Now there's like real hilarious meetings happening from numerous places that have no idea who I am, why I am, what I am, but they've heard from their kids that we're something, so that is kind of the whole conversation. And I used to just not even dabble. Like as soon as they act as if like they're doing me a favor to talk to me, normally it's like, okay, fuck off. I don't have time for this. I don't care if you don't like us. We probably don't like you either. I'm not going to do a song and dance to make you feel good. Like that's not how I am. I'm very lucky that we have the team that we have. You joining us every third day or so, you know what I mean?
Right.
Coming into the studio, doing what you got to do, the boys' work ethic, everything like that.
I think I got 5 days this week coming.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I doubt it. But like the entire community that listens and watches. Yeah, exactly. We know. The entire community that listens and watches, like we're so lucky we've been able to build up to this point because all these meetings are just it's just much different now. You know what I mean? It's just a much different place. So I let people say their dumb things and I realize they're dumb and they're probably going to get weeded out in this entire process of the world changing, as opposed to immediately having to bury said person for being dumb and taking up a position that somebody much smarter than them should be in. And the fact that they're making decisions is laughable, which is what I used to do. Now I just, you're so fucking dumb, you don't even know it. And then just move along in the conversation. So I feel like that's big maturity. You know what I mean? It's big maturity.
That's very mature of you, but you have all the leverage. You know that. They know that too. If they were smart and they got it, they would understand how to kind of come at you with all of that. But I'm sure dealing with you is a lot different than dealing with anyone else that they talk to. But yeah, they need to know. Like if anyone is coming at you wanting to talk to you about stuff like that, they need to have watched some of what you have done and understand a little bit how you work.
For instance, somebody pretty high up, okay, very high up.
There's dumb people. First up, before you finish, we all know there's dumb people everywhere in big time jobs.
I was told by somebody who is very high up somewhere, an old story that was like, I forget the exact name, some king said something, that on the way up, you're like impressed with people that you're working with. And then once he became king, he was immediately depressed because his peers were so stupid almost. He felt like the people that were at the highest level were the most out of touch in life. It was a metaphor to something, but it's the Peter principle kind of, where people kind of get promoted into positions of power because they're good at something much different. So it's like Steve Carell in The Office.
Yeah.
He was an incredible paper salesman.
Yep.
Then they move him to regional manager, and he's terrible at it. Like it happens in a lot of things, but yeah, it's fascinating whenever you get a peek behind closed doors and you say, "Oh my God, you're a fucking idiot! I did not know that an idiot runs this place." And then all of a sudden, for me, I viewed it as, okay, that's why a lot of things have happened. And then also that's inspiring, I think. I think it's inspiring because I too am a stooge and an idiot. And if you have the ability to get to where you are, I feel like me and my boys have the ability to make it where we are. In every conversation I have now, it's interesting because there's nobody else speaking for us now, right? It's just me. So It's a lot more meetings. It's a lot more bullshit. But I had a group like CAA, for instance. I enjoy the people at CAA. I have great personal relationships with the people at CAA. They were kind of representing me for a while, having conversations. But it's very difficult to explain what we are. And if an agency is in LA or in New York trying to explain what we are to the people that are in LA or New York and they don't fully get it, like, I don't want those people, necessarily speaking for us because I don't think they get what it is. So now that I have taken over full, like, hey, if anybody's going to speak for us, it's going to be me. More meetings have happened. I have a lot of respect for the people that I got to work with before at CAA. But a lot of these conversations, it's like, oh my God, the people that were trying to represent us talking to this fucking idiot had quite an uphill battle because this person has no idea what they're talking about. And that's just kind of been across the board. I think there's some elite people at some places and you immediately know, like, okay, that company's going to do well. This company's going to do well because this person's here. But there's a lot of places where it's like, God damn, how are you, the person, deciding if this company's successful or not? Like, there's just those types of things happening now,
Well, it's all right because I think it makes you appreciate those elite people even more. When you find them and you see they're like, oh, okay, well, I really appreciate you you're very good at what you do and you seem to get it and have some awareness. For me, at least, it makes me appreciate those people more. Like, man, you're really good. Everyone around you is awful. How do you do this? Like, and they're like, well, I'm trying to weed them out and get my own people in here.
Yeah, and it feels like there's departments at places that are good too. Because I have to get a chance to chat with like every bucket of companies now because then they could potentially come together to put together an offer. Like, hey, this part of a company wants to talk to you, and this part of a company wants to talk to you, and this part. So I'm meeting with all these people, and it's like, oh, fascinating. That department, very good. Would like to work with. This one has no fucking idea what they're doing. We should not be talking to this way. It's very weird. In this week, I have some of the biggest that I've ever had, and I'm excited about it. But also, fucking week 6 is right around the corner, dude.
Here we go.
Let's knock this thing out here. You know what I mean? We got some other stuff to deal with before we have these conversations, AJ.
Yeah, we do. Where's SmackDown this Friday?
Ontario, California.
Oh, geez, another long one.
Yeah, man. That was a lot of me on that plane, all by myself. I mean, it was a lot of me.
Are you able to sleep?
No. I know you sleep while driving and walking and talking and everything like that, but I cannot. Yeah, I can.
Literally never.
Yeah.
Why? You just can't sleep, or why?
Yeah, I just can't. I can't sleep at home in a bed, let alone on one of those chairs. I'm not a good sleeper in public.
In public? I mean, you're not exactly in public. You're on a big old private plane by yourself.
Valid. But I'm not on my bed. Like, I try to sleep in that fucking hotel. How do people sleep in hotels? I don't know how people sleep in hotels. I got like 2 hours of sleep then. That whole trip to San Jose, I loved it. It was very nice. Probably 6 hours of sleep amongst the entire 48 hours, 36 hours, however long I was out there. It was awesome. I had a blast. Let's do it again. Do it again. You know what I mean? Let's do it again out to Ontario, California, which is closer, I've been told.
Oh, nice.
Oh, is that
it's
right?
It's a shorter flight is what I've
Where
been
is it? What part of California?
I'm no north, I think. I have no idea.
Sounds right.
I don't know.
Probably because San Jose was south, right?
San Jose was like central, but they call it NorCal. But Coach JB, who grew up in Compton, calls it Kansas.
Right.
Okay.
So it depends on how you want to say. I texted him Friday morning before he came on the show. I was like, I just woke up in the sorry-ass left coast or whatever, you know what I mean, just to see what I could get. And he's like, you ain't in the left coast. You in motherfucking Kansas. He was like, all right.
Looks like Ontario.
Oh, it's right next to Rancho Cucamonga.
Oh, nice.
East of Los Angeles, west of Riverside.
Really? Okay, here we go. I don't really know what that means. East
That
of LA.
changes a lot for you.
I don't know what it means. Yeah, it's exactly. I have no idea what that means. What stadium or arena are we in? Who plays in Ontario?
I don't know. I was just looking at maps.
Anybody over there?
It's pretty close to LA.
Huh. Well, it's going to be a lot of me on that plane all by myself again, I think. It's going to be bad. Hopefully I'll be
Why does Sam go with you?
I think because Sam will come maybe to this one. I'm not 100% sure, but like during the day in the hotel, I'm screaming the entire time. And then I go to the arena, and then the show's over, and then I'm going to the airport, and then I'm out of there. You know, it's like Does Sam want to be away from the dogs and the cats? And like, she'll come whenever she wants. Like, I think there's a couple trips in the future she's going to come. But the day is not like I wish I could, like, it would have been nice to see a little bit more of San Jose, I think, aside from just the hotel room, the square outside, and the dispensary I went to. But every city I go to, it is literally airport, rental minivan I get, and then arena, then home, then airport. I don't even see anything. So maybe Sam will come out this time. Maybe Foxy will come too.
Let's go.
Maybe we'll get this one, a little footage on this one. I don't, because it's traveling takes shit out of you. Like, you get tired from traveling, you know what I mean? So I have to balance that too. Like, is it worth Foxy traveling an extra 10 hours, staying over there, when his energy could be much better used somewhere else? You know what I mean? That's like I kind of feel bad about it. But also, Foxy has a life now too. Like, we're growing. We're a little bit older, you know?
Yeah, becoming like, you all are becoming mature adults, aren't you?
No, well, that's not the case.
Who's gonna drink the booze on the plane if Foxy doesn't go?
That's a fair point.
Well, they
bring his dad.
All right, that's the show. That is the show.
Mr. Foxy, whatever they tell me. I don't know you. I hear you're a great guy. Foxy and the boys are the ones that tell me these things.
Hey, no disrespect, AJ.
Not me. Yeah, I don't say that.
Yeah, I'm speaking of some other guys that are from the Plum area.
Oh, you're saying that they say that Evan Fox's dad is a knockdown, fall down drunk?
Yeah, spade's a spade.
Every single day of his life?
I wouldn't throw rocks at glass houses, so that wouldn't be me.
That's very nice of you, Booze Hound. All right. By the way, how you doing? Pretty good? You had a terrible weekend. You good, though?
Steelers won, yeah. Fucking great, dude.
Oh, so faith, family, football, this job, and his gambling record.
Yep.
It is fifth.
Is Steelers family?
Those are in no order.
You actually said they were in order.
Yeah.
When?
When you listed them off.
Diggs hasn't lost a MLB playoff bet yet.
Wow.
Hey. Tip of the baseball cap to you, sir.
Thank you, pal.
Baseball is happening, huh?
Oh, yeah.
What's going on in baseball?
Speaking of, did we win that today, pal?
Yes, sir. Braves game's through.
Wow.
Woo!
Let's go.
Hammer Dahn already winning.
Yeah.
How many teams are left right now?
6, dude.
I know there's a big game last night. Big walk-off homer, right, for the Sox?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Close
man.
out tonight.
As Sean Casey knows, I watch baseball.
Hell yeah, me too, dude.
You ever play for Jim Leland?
All right.
Yep.
That's become something in the office, obviously. Everybody just learned about that publicly. There's something that is in-house. We all found it very fascinating that Sean Casey, the mere mention of playing for Jim Leland did drive him into a big pop. Big pop. So I don't know what that means, but it sounds like Jim Leland's the man. Would have won foul. You're telling me good wood tonight by the Red Sox, and all of a sudden the Rays are out of this whole thing?
Yes.
Best of 5?
Mm-hmm. That's right. 2-1.
2-1? Oh, it's baseball. That's going to be 2-2 tonight.
No.
Yeah. How many? Who's getting how many?
We can't go back to Tampa. It's got to end tonight.
It's in Boston?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Tampa Bay.
Nah.
The Rays take the heart out of Boston with electric in their wood, beating up the big green monster tonight to send that thing to the 5th and decisive game.
Nuh-uh. The Sox bats are hot.
It's going to get cold tonight.
No.
Hey, they got screwed with that ground rule double, though, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's the rule.
The rules is the rules,
That's
AJ.
right.
It's baseball. What are we without rules?
Plus, I only scored 1 run, and we won by 2. Sorry.
How come this isn't making a good wood on? Oh.
Probably cracked.
Good wood.
Because of how hard I swing it, or what?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you want a pitch? Or?
Yeah, let Connor throw it to you. I was trying to get Diggs to pitch me one during the show.
I didn't want to be responsible for a broken camera while Pat was gone.
Smart.
You know how to turn on.
Yeah, there's a lot of cameras, a lot of places you could have turned on.
You know, everything in here is strategically placed. You put some shit on my desk, by the way.
Threw my stuff away. I threw everything away, by the way.
No, there was
Even though
10
no trash
paper
can.
towels sitting here. There was 10 paper towels sitting here. Who were they? Riddle me this.
I've never. You think I saw a paper towel roll anywhere?
Okay, dude. All your fucking papers.
Like
and
you
shit.
guys have any cleaning utensils or
We
supplies?
do.
We
anywhere?
do. Right here, dude. It's everywhere. Look, dude. Right here. These are the ones you put all over the table. Thought I wouldn't recognize it. Oh, let me fuck with shit to see if he even recognized anything. I did. You had a bunch of shit here, bunch of shit here, shit all over the place here. You know, my shit's all nicely lined up here.
Okay. And I replaced your little earbuds that you didn't think I would.
You did. That was very nice of you. I think you were a gentleman, honestly, in this studio, and I appreciate you for that. Even though it sounds like you rang the alarm, you were like Paul Revere giving out the yells for everybody with OCD to attack me. You know what I mean? So you would say, this is annoying. It's making me upset. I'm pissed or whatever. And it was like that was the alarm clock for everybody that watches to be like, yep, okay, he said it. We're allowed to say it. My OCD is killing me looking at your desk. Will you please fucking clean? I'm so sorry. All right? My OCD is killing me that you guys won't get off my dick. You know what I mean? Like that is something that's killing me as well.
I never said OCD. I'm not saying I'm OCD about it. There's a lot of clutter in front of you. It's tough to operate sometimes.
My wife hates it. She is.
It's clean. Looks good.
It's clean. There's multiple just ashes laying around.
Just in the candle.
Plus, those disappear. They just go into dust.
Ashes to ashes.
Boom.
Dust to dust. Learn a little something about Jesus, dude. All right. If I hit this,
Carson.
If I hit this, or Coach Tony Dungy, I mean, he's coming after me.
Oh yeah.
He threw
What? What do you mean?
He questioned me questioning Carson Wentz listening to Faith and Worship before games. And then he said yesterday, but going to the show, he was getting pumped up by Faith and Worship music. And I'll tell you what, he did have some fight to him last night.
He did.
Maybe I had it all wrong. Maybe I should be listening to a little Creed before kickoff, dude. Hold on. If I hit this, who wins the race?
If you hit it, you mean if you make contact?
What do you mean if I make contact?
What are you talking about if you hit it? Of
What does
course.
that mean?
I sure hope you don't whiff.
Hold on. There's a lot of pressure on you throwing.
Oh yeah, I know. That's why I actually did a couple warm-ups. I moved the mic and I'm going to take this out so I don't hit it. Believe me, I got it.
Hold on. What am I trying to do here? What would be success?
Underhand. I think like a bunt back.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, if you're left-handed, you might want to lay a little drag bunt down the third base line here.
That's my computer.
Bunt doesn't
Right,
count.
you
You
gotta
need
go
back.
You got to go under the
Take
desk.
a good cut at it.
So I got to go under the desk?
Yep.
Where do you...
Lay the bunt down.
Bunt two, then you hack.
Hold up.
Yep.
Time.
Bunt one down each line and then swing away.
Yep.
All right. Don't show it. Hold on. All right. Yep.
Boom.
Yes!
Perfect drag bunt.
Easiest sport of all time, dude. Easiest sport of all time. Who just won? Tampa Bay Rays?
Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah, congrats to the
Denver's
Rays.
made the play. No,
Pushing that
Denver.
thing to 5.
Well done, Sox.
Pushing that thing
Why'd
to
you
5.
throw it
Way to
underhand,
finish,
Connor?
Sox.
What?
Why'd he throw it underhand?
Because, dude, it was the end of the game. He blew out his shoulder. Rookie of the year.
If I threw it overhand, I was burning that son of a bitch right down the middle, and it's going to break your jersey, and I couldn't do that. To
Nah,
you.
nothing would have made it through, by the way. Have you ever seen me play baseball?
Yeah.
Things don't make it past the plate with me standing here.
Fastball.
Contact hitter, baby.
That was the
That's all
first
I am.
time you batted lefty. So
Felt pretty good, didn't it? I mean, I feel like I could have maybe done a check. Gone.
Okay.
you want to try again?
I could definitely pass it back to you, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, take a swing, man.
I can't swing because
You can take a 3/4 cut. You got a ton of money, man. Just replace the TV. if you
All
do.
right, relax with the you have a ton of money thing. I don't want to be replacing everything because we're playing baseball in the studio. All right, just because baseball stinks. I don't
Probably a
wanna-
write-off.
I don't know. You're going to have to talk to CFO Phil about that.
Oh, there we go.
Hold on.
New pitcher change.
I don't know what I can. Oh, no, this one.
Todd, does your shirt say facilities?
Sure does.
You can't hear me.
Hey,
Yeah,
go
it does.
Hawks, dude.
First dog.
Go Hawks, dude. Where am I putting this?
Yeah.
No.
Wherever you want.
A little pepper, right back.
You going this way?
Whose glove is that?
Am I sending it back to you?
Yeah, a little pepper.
Are you throwing it overhand?
Yeah.
Yes.
Careful.
All right, I'm sending this back to you.
Yeah.
How do I?
Yeah,
swing
he's got a glove. Come on, man.
Check
They're
swing.
grown.
Yeah, a little
Check
slack.
like this, right here.
Yeah.
This ain't nothing. All right, here we go. Little pepper, huh? Hey, yeah, better. That would be me, better. Fuck!
Hang on.
Hang on,
Stack of papers was like the green monster.
I'll learn that for
Goddamn
next time. I'll learn that for next time. Fucking bat the ball around, boys, huh?
Here we go, here we
Hey,
go
let's
now.
get a little hot wood, huh? Let's get a little lightning in the
Hey.
stick here, huh? Baseball's happening. Joe Buck!
Oh! It's gone! It's gone!
Do one more. Try one more.
That was it. Everybody gets it.
Sox win! Let's go!
I think the Rays
What is everybody saying?
Sox win!
Everybody gets it. Everybody gets it.
That's the first
Get-
butt
oh, we
home
get
run I've
it.
ever
No
seen in
more.
my life.
Not expecting that.
Sorry, I brought a little heat on the way back.
That's right. It's good contact.
Holy shit.
I was a lefty, dude. Why'd I play righty in that game? What an idiot, dude.
That ball came back 140 miles per hour.
Very fast.
Sorry about that, Ty.
Nah, it was good exit velo.
I thought we were playing a little pepper there. You know what I mean? It's on me.
A lot of pepper on there.
Anyways, with that being said, I got the Rays tonight.
No way, dude.
All right, that's the show.
These
Hammer
Yankees.
Downs in 15 minutes at youtube.com/Hammer Down. I have the Colts plus 7.5. AJ has the Ravens minus 7.5. Hammer Down boys will tell us what's next.
Yep.
Good luck to the Tampa Bay Rays because that just figured that whole thing out right there.
Come on.
Yep, this is the Pat McAfee Show. Overreaction Monday. Aaron Rodgers Tuesday is tomorrow. Be a friend, tell a friend. Cheers. Baseball. Good for you. Have a good night tonight.
Baseball.
This baseball matters, right?
Let's go, Sox. Oh, yeah.
All right, here we go. Baseball. Monday Night Football as well, so who gives a fuck? See you tomorrow. Cheers.